What's going on, guys? Hope you're having a good day. I'm going to turn on Facebook as well, and then we'll begin. What's up, Facebook? Got the double stream going on today, as always, and I'm going to talk about Mitch McConnell basically backing out on Trump, it looks like, what that means, what I think about it. I want to hear what you guys think about it. And then I want to talk about, there's a lot of chatter, I don't know, it's a fun word, on Twitter and other social media about a Patriot Party or people leaving the Republican Party, a lot of Trump supporters and MAGA, because they're fed up with the Republican Party, the rhinos, the neocons and such. And I want to say what I think about that, hear what you guys think about that, and tell you why I'm not interested. I'm looking at the type of people that want to make a Patriot Party, and I couldn't not be more interested, because it seems like a lot of the people who missed the restrictions on the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, people who still don't understand why this year was so tragic and why both parties really sold us out in March, April, May, Operation Warspeed, stuff like this, which people just have a blind spot for and basically ignore. So why would I join a new party of basically MAGA who ignored 8 months of socialism and communism, just sidestepping to the right and calling themselves something else? I'm wildly uninterested. I'll tell you more in a little bit. But we'll talk about the McConnell thing first. We'll do some shout outs. We'll start on a good note. And then I have some tea. It's too hot for now, so I'm going to try to drink it before we start. Let's see who we got in the chat. George said, bro, you're on fire right now. Keep that energy. Thank you, George. Appreciate it. JR on Facebook. Connie said, nope, not interested at all. God bless you, Connie. We got Mitch. We got Blue Jazz on YouTube. We got Gio Villa. Sorry, bro. I messed up your name too late. I got to move on. Sydney. Michael with the super chat early on, what did it say? No taxation without representation would be fair to state if everyone agreed to not collect nor pay tax, that they would have no choice but to represent us and they cannot put us in jail. P.S. You're the best. Thank you, Michael. This year among every year, I mean, Michael said it. He dropped the super chat, so we should just say it. I could not think of a year that the United States government, federal or local, deserves our tax money. I can't think of a year that they deserve it less. Excuse me. This year, we're supposed to go in next year and pay taxes on this year? Are you kidding me? After we had a bipartisan shutdown in March, an emergency order, the CARES Act, $1 trillion communism that turned, MAGA into, they're like, Nancy Pelosi won't pass the socialist bill. Trump is the best. So it's like, guys, whatever happened to socialist sucks. Whatever happened to opening up our business and not forcing people inside and sending them $1,200 check? I agree with you, Michael. I can't think of a time that they deserve less taxes than next year. This is just such a shocking betrayal of America, but you really nailed it. And this is why I had a video like a year ago where I explained, whether it's right or left-wing government, but usually Democrats are worse, why government never learns their lesson. They never learn their lesson. Why is that? If you were a plumber and everything you did was horrible, but you just kept getting billions of dollars, you would never become a better plumber. Most businesses don't have to deal with this. And I'm not a super libertarian where I'm saying businesses are perfect. They're corrupt too. But the government's always the worst because they get the money next year. Gavin Newsom, a climate change fire, he gets billions of dollars. COVID, billions of dollars. This, billions of dollars. They screw up and enslave their own people. Oh, they did worse than they've ever done in modern U.S. history. Did they lose their money? Does the government lose their money for next year because they did such a piss poor job all the way around, from the president to the Republican Party to the Democrat Party? No, they're going to get the same exact paycheck from our money, from our tax money. So that's why they never get better. It's such a joke, but I agree with you, bro. If any time, be this year. Let's see what we got. Thank you guys so much. Someone said McConnell is his wife compromised to China. Here's what I'll say about that too, and then we'll get into it. China is the real deal, okay? China, communist China. I don't have to tell you about how real of a deal they are when it comes to influence. But my warning to conservatives is if you only look at China, you're going to play yourself, because it reminds me of someone said term limits. Anomaly, we need term limits. Term limits is not going to do it, because people like Fauci, nobody voted for Fauci. Reagan put Fauci in. You don't vote for Fauci. Trump has a hard time firing Fauci. It's these unelected bureaucrats in the intelligence communities and things like the CDC, HSS, whoever you put in there, it's just the same puppets, or someone like Fauci who sits there for 30, 40 years. There's a bigger story going on than even China. It's like, term limits is not going to stop it. Calling out China is not going to stop it, because some of your worst enemies don't live over in Wuhan. they live in the United States of America and they're employed by your own government. So it's like, yeah, do people have ties? Absolutely. But this country's been sold out for a long, long time. And it's your own, citizens that are just doing worse than China. China, that's to be expected. They're not our friend as far as, countries. But when it's your own people on every level, I think that's what people need to get keen to, because it reminds me of, and I'll get into the McConnell thing, but last year I talked about a lot, or 2 years ago, I'm not a big fan, I never was, of the influencers that just say it's the left, it's the left. Is the left the worst? Of course. But you have certain YouTubers and Facebookers that all they do is say, look at this blue-haired liberal on college campus. Like, yeah, she's really dumb. I get it. She's like a 21-year-old pot smoker. And I'm not knocking out people who smoke weed. I'm just saying, it's like, yeah, this girl has no idea where she is. She doesn't know anything. But I saw the same people that did that are totally useless this year. And I saw that coming, because I was like, that's all they know how to do. They just point to the low-hanging fruit. It's like trans bathrooms. It's like, yeah, it's weird. This. And it's so... You get what I'm saying? It's like we're falling into this trap of, like, I find, and that's going to be the second part of the story, is the right wing is almost as brainwashed as the left wing this year. I'll just say it. It's like people's brain kind of scrambled when everything didn't start going their way. Trump was crushing the first 3 years. When things are going good, you don't really have to do anything. It's just like MAGA, 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 Trump's the best. It's like he really was crushing for a long time. And then this year, the United States was not crushing. The economy was not crushing. Our freedoms were not crushing. Liberty wasn't crushing. None of it was crushing. And then people are still in MAGA mode, where they're like, MAGA, MAGA, all my friends are getting arrested, or all my enemies are getting arrested. MAGA, 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 look at the blue-haired liberal. And it's like the liberals are doing communism. And it's like, no, the Republicans did communism this year. Yes, AOC sucks. Ilhan Omar is a goofball. The Democratic Party is a joke and perhaps the most evil entity in the country politically. But what about accountability? We always talk about accountability, and there is like no accountability in the right wing. And that's going to be the second part of the story. It's like, ooh, Ilhan Omar. It's like, no, I'm talking about Mitch McConnell, Donald Trump, Nancy Pelosi, trillions of dollars of socialism, communism for 2 months as they locked down the country and set us back 20, 30, 40 years with this nonsense lockdown scheme that is still not fully removed from the country. So it's like, are we going to stop talking about blue-haired liberals? Are we going to blame China all the time? Is China a part of it? Obviously. I don't have to tell you what they're doing, from Confucius schools to paying off politicians to working with some of our allies that we give billions of dollars in aid to every year, that it goes to them and then it goes right over to China. And you're not allowed to talk about it because both parties pass speech laws preventing you to talk about it. So there's a lot of problems going on. But it's like this game of, like, I'm watching tweets where it's like people are acting like it's 2018. It's still the same story. It's like James Woods. I like the guy. He's fantastic. He's like, man, the left is socialist. It's like, bro, this was the 2016 meme, bro. It's 2020 now. Okay. It's both parties are now socialist, and no one on the right seems to be able to have any sort of accountability. So let's get into the McConnell thing before I get ahead of myself. It looks like Mitch McConnell's pretty much giving up on the election. And one, really positive thing that's going on is the GOP is not getting the job done, and they're pretty much in shambles, as they should be. They sucked this whole year. Nobody seemed to give them any credit for the disaster that they caused this year with the Democratic Party. But now that Mitch McConnell and all of them are turning on Trump, finally people joined how we felt for months and said, man, I don't think they're getting the job done. You think so? What part of 8 months of socialism, communism did you not understand? I guess it took till after the election for people to figure this out. But yeah, no, they're not getting the job done. So the fact that Trump is pretty much just blowing up the GOP metaphorically, I'm totally fine with it. I'm glad that people are upset with McConnell. I'm glad that people are upset with Perdue and Loeffler. I'm glad that people are upset with Kemp. They should be upset with the entire Republican Party. They were a disaster all year, and nobody wanted to talk about it until recently because they're so glued to the election and just everything that Trump does or doesn't do that they just don't think for themselves anymore. So thank God, people are finally waking up to, like, oh my God, McConnell. Yeah, no, the Republican Party sucked this year. They got an F-. So that's the good news. It's like people clearly don't like the Republican Party. Trump, people still are asking me, keep your eyes on the prize. I've said this the whole time. And there's a lot of people that say, well, if something good happens, you have to apologize to us. I've never said that good things can't happen. I'm not a pessimistic person. If anybody's watched me over the last few years, I'm very optimistic. It's just my optimism is not based in fake theories. Like, I don't tell everybody that John Podesta is secretly on Guantanamo Bay in 2018. And then I say, I'm the king of hope. It's like, no, we build our hope in God, in the Lord. We build our hope in reality. We build our hope in what could be. And if it doesn't happen, we build our hope in the fact that we were aware and honest about it. So we built a plan or a strategy to protect ourselves and our family. That's where we build our hope. We don't make up these delusional theories all the time and then hang on to them and then yell at everybody who doesn't agree. It's like, could Trump still win? Absolutely. There's a lot of stuff he could do, but we operate in reality to the point where I haven't seen anything done the entire time. For instance, Flynn got bopped because he called a foreign leader before, he was in office or Trump was in office. That's why Flynn got held accountable, or they tried to. So many people on Biden's staff have done this. They've done the same exact thing that Flynn's done. But what does the Republican Party do? Nothing. They do nothing. They always do nothing. This is just what they do. They've done nothing about Section 230. They've done nothing about, reining in the tech companies. They've done nothing about the elites. They did nothing about Epstein. They did nothing about Hillary. They did nothing. They do nothing. All they do is do nothing. So why would I magically just secretly believe that now if they do it, I'm all for it. But the difference is I'm drawing my line in the sand. I'm not giving up religious freedom anymore. I'm not giving up the First Amendment anymore. I'm not giving up the Second Amendment anymore. If they want to meet me on the path and say, hey, look, we arrested all your enemies, I'm going to look over and say, awesome, that's fantastic. I'm super glad. I don't rule it out, but it's like this idea, people are living vicariously through President Trump to the point where it's almost unhealthy. It's like, I'll give up my First Amendment. I'll give up my Second Amendment. I'll give up the entire country. I'll sacrifice millions of small businesses. I will literally not care about any of this because I just assume that he has a super secret 5D, 10D chess plan. It's like, then you're taking yourself off the chessboard because you don't have to give in. If Trump is the guy that you think he is, you not giving in is actually a good thing. What type of great leader would care if you stood up for yourself in your First Amendment? He would like it probably. So it's like, it's such a weird strategy that we're dealing with. But I hope people come to their senses soon. With McConnell, Trump's put him in a weird spot because the GOP is just collapsing. Like what Trump was the GOP. They're not standing behind Trump. Trump waited, I guess, until after the election to figure out about Dominion, and they couldn't do anything about mail-in ballots before, so they're fighting for their life right now, and the GOP doesn't know what to do. Oh, well, so if they collapse because of this, not really mad at it. I can't lie. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a big love in my heart for Mitch McConnell. God bless the guy. But yeah, I mean, I could really care less about him. So, we'll see what happens. But that's what it is. The Trump and the Mitch McConnell types are at a disagreement and they don't know what to do. They're trying to juggle their political career, but they lost the base. Interesting. On that note, everybody's talking about a Patriot Party. So this is the chatter I see. We're making a new Patriot Party. We don't like the GOP. They're corrupt. We're going to make the Patriot Party. And no disrespect, but I couldn't possibly be less interested in this Patriot Party just based off of the people who are talking about it. Because I'm looking at these people. These are the same people who never talked about when Trump passed anti-First Amendment legislation. These are the same people who don't care that he infringed on the Second Amendment, and they probably wouldn't care if they infringed further. These are the same people that said nothing all year during the communist socialist lockdown. So if I'm going to make a new party, if we're going to make a Patriot Party, it has to be completely First Amendment, completely Second Amendment. No infringes on either of them. It has to be a real free market, actually hold somebody accountable party. It can't be a party that did nothing for 4 years. Who wants to join a failed movement that didn't arrest their enemies? Who wants to be part of a movement that is so brainwashed by the cult of personality that they don't even stand up for their own people? If you'd see the type of messages I get, they're like, no, I don't care about the restaurants anomaly. It's okay because, one day it's going to happen for me. It's like, I don't want to be anywhere near these people. It's, why would I join a Patriot Party that's literally like GOP light? It's like rhinos calling rhinos rhinos. Everybody's a rhino calling everybody a rhino. It's like, he's a rhino, she's a rhino, he's a rhino. But you all worship Trump, and you guys are so blinded by what he actually did this year. I like Trump. I voted for Trump. I supported Trump this year. First year, A+. Second year, A+. Third year, A. Fourth year, F minus. He sucked this year. This year sucked. Either he was not capable of fending off big pharma. He didn't want to. He decided to be a vaccine salesman. And then as soon as he does it, I look at it and I'm like, listen, guys, I like Trump, but this is what Operation Warspeed is. He's funding this company, that company. He's buying Pfizer. He's buying Moderna. I'm doing the real reporting. This is mRNA vaccines. He's literally rushing it faster than Bill Gates is through FDA trials. That's just the truth. Look at his Brian Kilmeade interview where he's just bragging about, how fast he got the vaccine through, and no one else would have got it done as fast. It's like, we know that that's a bad thing. If you really want to know about vaccines, I scrolled it up this time because I always talk about it. Ronald Reagan, the other icon of the Republican Party, passed probably one of the most costly bills in U.S. history, the National, or whatever it's called, Act, a National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act. And what that was, a lot of the pharmacy companies were losing a lot of money because of lawsuits, because of child, I want to say injuries. That's what it's called, the Childhood Injury Act. And they passed it and made pharmacy companies not liable anymore. So for the last 30 years, the big pharma under vaccines have not been liable. It's been the government who's been liable. So the merger of vaccine companies and government happened 30 years ago under Ronald Reagan, and he hired Fauci. And most people don't know this. So what I'm saying is they've got away with anything because you can't hold them accountable. You go to the government, and the government has an unlimited paycheck. So Trump, by rushing through Operation Warp Speed, in my opinion, is a massive betrayal of the American people. It is, rushing through an already rushed process where they haven't been really held accountable in 30, 40 years since Reagan, making it go faster, adding a new vaccine that was considered experimental before this year, bragging about how instead of 4 years of trials, you had 7 months, 8 months. And this is impressive, but this is the point I'm getting to, is nobody wants to say it because they like him more than they like the truth. And the point I'm getting to, that's fine if you want to do that, but I don't want to join your Patriot Party. Why would I be in a party of just complete liars who literally can't even admit reality? Anomaly, that's not what it is. He's fighting Bill Gates. No, he's not. Anomaly, he's secretly using the military to arrest all these people. No, he's not. These liars, all they do is straw man arguments. Look at my Twitter. They're liars. I don't know what to tell you. It's like they've brainwashed millions of people into thinking Operation Warp Speed is a secret military operation to arrest all of the vaccine distributors, when in reality, it's just Trump funding the vaccine company and helping them in the same way that Ronald Reagan helped them whenever he was president. So it's like, you can have a great leader who does something that's very catastrophic to the country. I wish Trump arrested all my enemies. I wish this year I was able to go on a cruise. I wish this year I wasn't treated like a slave when I went on an airplane. Trust me, I feel the same way you guys do. I wish this year was rainbows and butterflies and millions of small businesses weren't going out of business and Amazon wasn't growing. I wish all my enemies got arrested, but it didn't happen. Hillary never got locked up. We got locked up. And I figured that out in March and April and May. And I'm looking around locked up, not Hillary, us. And I'm saying, hey guys, are we going to fight for our freedom? And what did what they're going to call themselves the Patriot Party, what did they do? Nothing. What do they always do? Nothing. They hallucinate. It's like ego or like cowardice. I don't know. It's like when something doesn't go your way, instead of embracing it and being like, okay, I'm a real man. This didn't happen the way I wanted. That's fine. Listen, I still like the guy. I still like the country. Let's figure out what to do. That's what a real man does. What a coward and an egomaniac does is like, well, Hillary didn't get locked up, but what if he was locking us up and rushing vaccines purposely to secretly military-based destroy? It's like, at what point do you guys stop this? At what point? I don't know, but I don't want to join your party. I don't want to. Why would I want to join a party with people who have become this year more brainwashed than the left wing? I've talked about it all year. The left wing, I've never seen something more brainwashed. You know who's giving them a run for their money? These trust the planners. They're almost, if not as brainwashed as left wingers. Nothing matters to them. Reality doesn't matter. The truth doesn't matter. If you tell them something they don't want to hear, they close their eyes, they spiral, and then they spout off talking points that are either completely provably fake or they're real, that it's a straw man argument. Anomaly, but human traffickers got arrested last month. Yeah, I know. I've been reporting on it all the time when hundreds of people get busted. Yeah, that's great. But what does that have to do with Operation Warp Speed? They say Operation Warp Speed's a super secret plan to arrest Guantanamo. And you're like, no, it's not. And they're like, yeah, but Trump did the human trafficking thing. And I'm like, what does that have to do with what you like? So you can just lie all the time. You're allowed to lie about 15 things and then spiral towards the one thing that you're actually right about. And that makes you a good person, makes you a liar. These people are con artists. That's why a lot of them hide behind anonymous pictures and you've never seen their face. They're probably embarrassed to show you their face because they've misled people for the whole year. Human trafficking was real. Trump did a fantastic job the first three years. This year was awful. And here's the point I'm trying to get. If you love Trump, you could say, it makes sense to me. Listen, he got overpowered. He got bamboozled. He couldn't do it. He got attacked so much that he had to give in on something. That makes sense to me. I understand. But what then you have to admit is, okay, well, he's not doing what you thought he was doing. He's not doing what I thought he was doing. That's just the truth. I wish he was doing all the things I wished he did. He did a great job the first 3 years. This year was a train wreck. The Republican Party was a train wreck. The Democratic Party was like left of Stalin, luckily not killing people to the full extent yet. But Trump was like not good. He's Mr. Big Pharma. He's Mr. Russia vaccine. I'm going to get Bill Gates' stuff to the public as fast as possible. And when that happened, there's not a lot of people reporting on it accurately. Someone said, I want my foreskin back. I hear you. Yeah, they chop. That's one of my lyrics in my song. I said they chop off your foreskin just to rub it on your face. Your foreskin, I'm not trying to get gross, but it has receptors on it. It has like, they're the feeling receptors, and they chop it off and they tell you that it's good for you when you're a kid. And then they use foreskin serum and rub it on their face for anti-aging properties. These people are sick. They're disgusting demons. And if you talk about it, they'll say you're racist or something. But in general, it's like this year at a certain point, we have to come to reality. So the Patriot Party is really just the brainwashed cultists who got bamboozled this year, didn't admit to anything. They never admit to their freedom. There's people so brainwashed. I'm not trying to be mean. I printed it out the other day. Someone was arguing with me, and it's my own fault for arguing with these people, but Anomaly, we didn't lose any freedoms. What planet are you living on? You could say we lost our freedoms, but I think this is going to happen. We lost our freedoms, but I think, did we not? Does anybody in my chat, the 1,500 people on Facebook, the almost 1,500 people on YouTube, almost 3,000 total, does anybody think we didn't lose our freedoms? Did we lose our freedoms, guys? You could love Trump. I hope you do. I hope you love Trump more than me. Didn't we lose our freedoms this year, guys? Blame Pelosi if you want. I don't care. Blame Chuck Schumer. Blame Gavin Newsom. Did we lose our freedoms this year, guys? Yes or no? Did we lose our freedoms? Here, I'm going to take it. It looks like an astounding yes. Everyone said we lost our freedoms. These people who are going to start a new Patriot Party, not all of them, but some, they don't even think we lost freedom this year because they don't live in reality anymore. They live in, it's called like, I don't know if it's ego or it's like just being so cowardly and like anxiety that you have to make up like a false reality to make yourself feel better. And I feel bad for these people, but it's like, I met this lady. I got in an argument with her on Twitter. I met her at Politicon. She's a nice, wonderful lady. She's such a nice lady. I remember talking to her. She's great. She showed me a picture. She can't even talk to me because she's so brainwashed by these people. She's like, we didn't lose our freedoms. No, this is good. This is all good. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, I watched this CIA guy on YouTube. You need to watch him. I'm like, why would I listen to a government agent? I mean, if I watch a YouTube of a CIA guy, whatever, but it's like you're trusting government agents who make YouTube channels and tell you that just sit there and watch all your freedom. Like, how do you know that's not a psyop? Like, you believe yourself. Don't believe me. Don't believe the CIA guy on YouTube. Believe your own eyes, believe your own ears, look around, look at your community. If business is closed, business is closed. If I say businesses didn't close, I'm a liar. If the CIA guy says it, he's a liar. It's really that simple. It's like, use your mind, use your brain, look around and like, yeah, I like Trump, but business is closed. I like Trump, but this is not ideal. These Patriot Partiers are like, I like Trump so much that nobody got hurt. It's like, guys, they're as brainwashed as leftists. So they're going to take MAGA. They're going to take the Zionist Republican Party that, to be honest, even when they were doing a good job, they're always prioritizing a certain country before ours. They're passing First Amendment bills with Kushner and Dershowitz. I don't agree with it. And the Overton window has shifted so far left that they'll call you an anti-Semite for demanding free speech. Noam Chomsky, I always bring this up because I think it's a very great point. He was a left-wing, basically anarcho-communist Jewish guy. He's Jewish as well. He used to defend the most anti-Semitic speech, and they used to call him a Holocaust denier. They used to call Noam Chomsky all these things. And you know what he said? He said, I don't agree with them. I'm a Jew, but I agree with their right to say it, okay? I'm a free speech purist. And he said there's only two stances on free speech. Either you believe in free speech or you don't. If you only believe in free speech for those you agree with, you're the same as Stalin or Hitler, who agreed with the speech they agree in. You can be that, but you're not a free speech absolutist. You don't believe in free speech. Those are the only two. He's totally right about that. And in his old age, God bless the guy. I don't know how he still feels. Either you believe in free speech or you don't. There's no other thing. Trump and Dershowitz and, Kushner and all his little brigade of non-anti-Semites, you could say, they're passing these anti-First Amendment bills. And I saw it last year. Who talked about it? You didn't see any of these influencers talk about it because they don't care, because they don't believe in anything that they actually stand up for. They believe in cult worship to whatever's going to get them power or popularity on the internet. They believe in worshiping a politician or a group of people more than their own God, more than, reality itself. And it's become a problem. So it's like, if I'm going to make a new party, it's got to be 100% First Amendment party, 100% Second Amendment party, no infringements on either, complete restoring of our republic. No more socialism and communism paychecks, no more lockdowns, no more quarantines, no more mask mandates, no more letting corporations just run sporadically. And this is what a lot of libertarian type people don't understand. I'm not saying all, because then people type, I'm libertarian, I agree with you. Yeah, when I say these things, I'm not talking about everyone. Obviously, millions of people get it, millions of people don't. But what we have is not true capitalism. When Ronald Reagan passes the National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act, this is not vaccine capitalism. This is capitalism for them, unless they get sued. Then it's socialism or communism where they have no liability. It's drastic. So any liability that they would have, they don't have anymore. And that's the same thing that happened with Section 230. Is it's not free market. It's not capitalism. It's not a republic, because they have the money and the operation of a public utility or a private entity or whatever, and then they act like a public utility, and then they get government protection. So either they need to lose those government protections, or they're just the government. It's like this synergy going on between corporations and government, and that's what we need to go at. It's like, just do the right thing. If it's pro-corporation, it's pro-corporation. But if the corporations aren't getting the job done, we can't just sit back and say it's a free market. It's far past the free market. So the point that I'm talking about is, if we have a new Patriot Party, it's got to be pro-First Amendment. It's got to be pro-Second Amendment. It's got to be no excuses for lockdowns, no more mask mandates, no more making excuses for this year. And who wants to start the Patriot Party? All of the delusional, brainwashed cultists who've made excuses since March and April and May and June and July and August and September and October. And we've heard the same thing all year. They said, anomaly, just wait. Trump has a super secret plan. Okay, I waited till May. Trump has a super secret plan. I look at my Twitter account back in May. I was one of the few patriots saying all this stuff. I'm like, bro, he's rushing vaccines. He's not pro-open. He's not stopping the lockdown. He enabled the lockdown with the emergency order, the CARES Act. He gave everything to Gavin Newsom. He gave him the keys to authoritarianism and said nothing about it at the time. He gave the keys to authoritarianism to Murphy and Cuomo, and he complimented them back in April and May. And then it happens, and then he sits back. It's like lobbing to dunk in our face. And I'm like, wait, just wait. Now we're 8 months into it. 8 months into, you guys, I don't know how many people are financial experts. I'm no genius, but this has to be some sort of a bubble. Do you not think this is a bubble when they just destroy millions of small businesses, put trillions of dollars of loans, kick the can down the road, and the intelligent discussion going on from the Patriot Party versus the Democrats is Trump wants to pass more socialism and Nancy Pelosi won't let him pass the socialism. It's pathetic, guys. I mean, I thought it was just the left wing that was brainwashed, but you have a two-party system where people are just straight up delusional. It's like the conversation went from protecting our freedom to totally ignoring it. Now you're mad because Trump is trying to pass a socialism bill with Mitch McConnell, but Nancy Pelosi won't let him be socialist. But Nancy wants to lower the socialist money, but Trump and McConnell have more socialist money for the socialists. I don't know, Patriot Party. Let me just think real quick. Let's put on our thinking cap. What would be even better than socialism and communism right now? I don't know. Maybe a party that called for the 100% end to lockdowns. I don't know. Maybe a party that called for the end of mask mandates. They can destroy the country, but they can't rebuild it. They can enslave the country, but they can't free it. They don't have the power to do that, but they have the power to pass the CARES Act and the emergency bill. Well, they have the power to pass the National Childhood Vaccine Safety Act, to pretty much make no liabilities for the vaccine companies, but they don't have the ability to not do Operation Warspeed. His hands are tied. He has to rush it through, brag about it, sell it to you, throw it out so they can jam it down your face. And a bunch of the Patriot Party cultists will say, he had no part in it. It was Pelosi. It was Fauci. No, it was him. He loved it. He did it. When this comes out, guess what's going to happen? He's going to be the fall guy. Trump's going to be the fall guy. Either he's in on it or he's not very bright, folks, unless he has some super secret plan I don't know about. Because as soon as anything happens with this, who are they going to blame? Trump. because he rushed it through and bragged about it. So they have the ability to blame him for all this stuff. He will be the fall guy for the next 5 years. Every bad thing that happens, from financial collapse to any sort of effects with vaccines, Trump did it. I mean, of course, he rushed it and bragged about it. We have video footage of it. So he's sacrificing himself. I don't know why, but we'll see. Let's see. Someone said, we get it. You hate warp speed, man. I don't hate anything, but I'm just telling you how it works. With the thing that Reagan passed, these companies have no accountability. So here's what I'm trying to say. If you don't drain the swamp drains you. They drained us this year. Trump didn't stop the pharmacy industry. He fought with them for a little bit, and then he gave them $10 billion, and he gave them what they've always wanted. What Trump did for the big pharma this year is better than anything since Reagan. Probably the two presidents that helped big pharma more than anyone were Ronald Reagan with the National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act and Donald Trump with Operation Warp Speed. These people are salesmen for big pharma. They have done more for the deep state and pharmacy than any Democrat president could have dreamed of doing. So that's what I didn't want this to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't vote for this. I didn't, I gave him every benefit of the doubt, but he just keeps selling these things like hotcakes. So I don't know what to tell you. And the point I'm getting to is, if there's a Patriot Party, it needs to be a party that's self-aware. Because if I'm just giving you an example, if I'm the leader of the Patriot Party and I start warp speeding vaccines and take away your freedoms, you're not supposed to like me like a cult. I don't want you to like me if I become a vaccine salesman. I don't want you to like me if I start funding them to the tune of tens of billions of dollars. I don't want you to like me if I lock down the country. So if there's a party and I'm the leader, you shouldn't like when I do evil stuff. But if the Patriot Party means right-wingers salivating over evil, count me out. Who wants to be part of such a brainwashed cult? It's the same thing as the left wing. Well, Obama doesn't matter because when he bombs Libya, it doesn't even exist to me because Obama is such a funny guy. You're brainwashed. I don't know what to tell you. It's like when Obama does it, if he starts 6 wars, he did it. Even if you like his smile or you like his jump shot on the court, he still did it. It's the same thing with Trump. I get that you like Trump, but if Trump passes Operation Warp Speed, he did it. And these cultists, it's not even like they know it happened and they agree with it. They straw man everything. First, I'm just going to go through what all of these con artists told me all year when I was reporting on it. First, they said he's doing it to beat Bill Gates' vaccine. So this was the first lie. I've heard it dozens of times. They said he's rushing Operation Warp Speed because he wants to get the really safe vaccine before Bill Gates' vaccine comes out. Here's the only problem with that. If you read the legislation of Operation Warp Speed, that's not what he did at all. He funded Moderna, which is one of Bill Gates' most backed companies, $1 billion. So you're fighting Bill Gates by funding Bill Gates. You're fighting the left by becoming the left. Socialism sucks, but you're a full-blown communist, but it's okay when you put MAGA over it. This is a joke, guys. The whole movement got pathetic this year. It's like when push came to shove, everybody just showed they have no backbone. They have no spine. All they do is hallucinate theories and just make up stuff instead of actually doing it. So you get what I'm saying? When that happened, and then I heard it's not really what you think it is, Anomaly. And I'm like, okay, I'm a listener. Let's hear. It's really what it is the military's not really going to distribute it. They're going to do everything I want them to do because I'm a psychopathic egotist. And I just assume when things don't go my way, I just make them up in my head and it just happens. It's like, that's why you're wrong all the time. Trust me, I wish Operation Warp Speed was, them handing out a bunch of like lollipops or like, chocolate banana, whatever, those things when they freeze a banana with the chocolate, what is it called? You get what I'm saying? Just like a dessert. I'm just making up stuff, whatever. That's what I wish Operation Warp Speed is, but I'm not such a psychopath, brainwashed moron that I'm like, oh, well, I said, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's like, you shouldn't watch me. If that's the information I was giving you, you should tune off because that's what a psycho sounds like. It's like, no, it's not. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. I get it wrong, but it's like when it happens, I say this stuff and people don't want to hear it. I'm going to play this clip real quick. And I know why people don't want to hear it because it hurts their feelings, but I'm going to just play it. And I'm going to read some of the comments that people say. I'm trying to show them what Operation Warp Speed is. Listen, if you agree with it, that's fine, but don't make up a theory. It is exactly what Trump's about to say right here. I'm going to play it.
Through your mind.
Can you hear it?
What is going to be going through your mind as FedEx, UPS, those flights go to 600 separate sites in all 50 states of vaccine rolling in? What's going to be going through your mind?
If I wasn't president, according to almost everybody, even the enemy,
If I wasn't president, you wouldn't have a vaccine for 5 years, okay? I pushed the FDA and companies and everybody else involved like nobody's ever been pushed before. And now you have it rolling out. And frankly, they could have done it last week. They could have even done it a week sooner. They heard from me. But this has been a great, really medical miracle. They call it a medical miracle. And it's going to have a tremendous impact. 95% effective. We have.
So he's bragging about it. It's coming out. That's all I'm saying. That's what it is. Any influencer that told you it's a secret military operation or he's fighting Bill Gates, they're lying. He's rushing the vaccine for the pharmacy industry. So someone said, I think, and this is, I love that people are saying this because it's the same stuff I've heard all year, folks. They say, Anomaly, I think he's just rushing it because he thinks, if he'll rush it to the people, we can be free again. Okay, we've had this, we've had this debate since April. I'll try not to get upset. You can't beat the left, folks, by becoming the left. You can't beat the left by becoming the left. You're Lucy with the football, folks. Wake up, please. Put your feet in the ground instead of, it's so pathetic. I'm so sorry, guys, but it's like, I think the reason he became the left Anomaly is so, read the articles, folks. They're saying once you get the vaccine, you're not going to be free. Get the vaccine, we're not opening up. Liberals aren't going to open up. No one's opening up. They're going to use it against healthcare workers. You can't beat the left by becoming the left. You can't lock them up by locking your own people up. The further left you go, the further you screw over your country. You can't rush a vaccine to please the liberal cult, okay? So you do what they say, and then they say something else. And now you have this vaccine. Hey, look, I did what you said to do, and they changed the story. How dumb are people, guys? When are you going to learn? Who are you guys watching that brainwashes you into thinking this way? It's like, well, maybe if we became the communists, we could fight communism. I mean, when AOC says socialism is bad, but when Trump and McConnell do full-blown socialism, maybe they're doing socialism to beat the socialists. Maybe they're rushing the vaccine so we can be free. Now, that's why you're never free, folks. That's why the Republican Party is getting destroyed, rightfully so. They do nothing, folks. They make excuses. They lie. They become the left. It's like, well, maybe we could fight the radical LGBT by becoming the radical LGBT. It's like, oh yeah, that's going to work really, really well because, that's just do exactly what they do and you'll beat it by doing it. All right, Michael with the big super chat. Thank you. Said, healthcare equals business, education equals business, government equals business. Lobbyists have destroyed us, too bureaucratic. No money in politics if you love this country. No money in politics. Restructure, less government, flat tax, or keep hemorrhaging. I hear you, brother. God bless you. Thank you so much. It's such a simple logic, and this is I appreciate I appreciate the conversation. This is why I don't want to join the Patriot Party, guys. The MAGA movement has been full blown brainwashed. It's like maybe Trump is. It's like maybe he didn't do what you wanted him to do. Welcome to the life of an adult. You don't always get a lollipop. You don't always get the banana on the stick, okay? You don't always get the WWE. You ever have those little ice cream cones that they got the shape like Stone Cold Steve Austin? It's not always lollipops, folks. Sometimes the boss that you like doesn't do what you want him to do, okay? I think maybe he's did it because he's going to fight the left by becoming the left. No, you can't fight the left by becoming the left. It's so obvious. This is why we're losing everything. Who wants to be in a Patriot Party that's so far gone, they think selling out the First Amendment is a secret plot to save the First Amendment. They think infringing on the Second Amendment is a secret way to save the Second Amendment. They think shutting down the country is a secret lockdown for John Podesta when you got locked up, not John Podesta. They think that rushing vaccines is a secret way to beat Bill Gates. They think that the only way to beat the left is to give them what they want and become them. And then as soon as you become them and give you what they want, they use it against you. Trump will be the fall guy for this vaccine. They're going to use it against people in all 50 states and certain industries. And no, they're not going to open up. They're already saying we can't open up. Bill Gates, Fauci, do you not know what's going on, guys? It's like, let's do exactly what Fauci wants to do to beat Fauci. The only way to expose Fauci is to put Fauci on a stage and give him power over the U.S. government. You can't fight Fauci without being Fauci. You have to be Fauci. I mean, the only way to fight Bill Gates is for Trump to become Bill Gates. It's like, no. So if that's the Patriot Party, guys, I'm going to find property somewhere, become self-sustainable, and eventually just turn off my internet connection because the MAGA party has just been full-blown brainwashed. It's like, and I'm not saying all of you, but at a certain point, there's going to be a split. And if people go to the Patriot Party, which a bunch of QAnon cultists who say, trust the plan, don't worry, Biden won as a super secret plan because the FBI has our best interest. No, the FBI hates you guys. They hate you. So it's like, yeah, let's not do that. I don't want to be part of a party that can't admit anything. It's like, how many people like Ronald Reagan? I'm sure he was a really nice guy. I'm sure he did a lot for the country. He also didn't. We could speculate on why. Maybe he has no power. Maybe they shot him. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's just like when you're in presidency, it gets so overwhelming that you just can't get the job done. I understand that. I would appreciate if you guys said that. That makes so much more sense than just making up bullshit because you just don't want to admit that Trump didn't do what you thought he was going to do. He did Operation Warspeed. He locked down the country. He didn't hold anybody accountable. Barr didn't do anything. Maybe they'll do something in the next 2 months, but they're running out of room. So the point I'm getting, if we admit that, we could give Trump the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say he fought China and just got blown out of the water or something. I don't know. He fought the deep state and lost. He couldn't fend off Big Pharma, so he had to become Big Pharma. Whatever, but if you can admit the problem, we could solve the problem. If you never even admit the problem, you're not doing shit. And that is the Republican Party. And I'm just being honest, it's not just McConnell. It's not just Kemp. It's not just Perdue. It's not just Loeffler. It's not just Ducey. It's Trump. Like, everybody has this theory in their head because they want Trump to win the election. I hope he does. But people have this theory like, well, nobody's fighting for us but Trump. Trump did everything that they did, if not worse, this year. So it's like, you just don't want to admit it because you put your blinders on. It's like, he's just as bad. Everything he did this year was trash. So it's like, you just think he didn't because you don't want to believe it happened. I don't want to be in your party. So we'll start our own anti-lockdown party. And our party is going to be 100% anti-lockdown, 100% mask mandate, 100% First Amendment. I'm talking about real First Amendment, okay? We're not prosecuting people for anti-Semitic, Islamophobic, it could be the gender. No, all of that, none. Free speech to the fullest. 100% make excuses for nothing. If something doesn't happen, we accurately talk about it. We don't just make up theories and excuses for what we want it to be. If that's the case, I don't want to be in the Patriot Party. I want to be in an 100% freedom party, 100% make no excuses for tyranny. The right wing loses because instead of fighting the left or standing up to the left, they become the left. And then their base says, anomaly, maybe we have to be the left to fight the left. No, that's how you lose. That's why you lose. That's why we lose. We win, we lose. We lose, we lose. All the Republican Party does is lose. A bunch of losers. That's all they do. 3 branches of Congress lose. 3 branches. We had the Senate, we had the House, we had the presidency. What did we get out of it? In hindsight, very little. What did the Democrats get out of it? Just wasted our time, ran us in circles, and used their corporate friends to make the country further left as we own everything. All they do is lose. Someone said I said it 500 times. Let's say it 501 times. Lose. Losers. Losing. That's what the Republican Party does. So we want to win. And the only way to do that is holding your ground. When anybody tries to sell out the First Amendment, we say no. If anybody tries to infringe on the Second Amendment, we say no. If anybody tries to lock down the country, we say no. If anybody wants to Operation Warp Speed Russia vaccine so they could terrorize healthcare workers with it, and Trump and Pfizer can say, you guys get it first. I don't want to be, I don't want to be selfish and get all the vaccines for myself. You guys get it and we'll get it later. That's what the Pfizer CEO says. I don't want to be selfish. You do it. You're elderly in healthcare and the military. You guys get it. Please. I would love to just get injected, but I'll just wait till you get it. That's what Trump is saying too. He's like, listen, I'll get the vaccine, but let's give it to you first, okay? You guys could go get it first. Thank you so much. You rush it through so we can be the guinea pigs for it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, no, but there's a 30,000 person efficacy trial for Moderna. Let me look at it. Oh, what do you know? Out of 30,000 people, only 185 in the placebo had any sort of symptoms. So 29,000 people, over 29,000 people out of 30,000 showed no symptoms. Sounds really bad. Yeah, but you know what they're going to call it? If people start getting hurt over the last next few years and they start losing certain things, fertility, this or that or whatever, you know what they're going to call it, folks? COVID-19. And you know what the Republican Party is going to do about it? Nothing, like they always do. They're just going to just sit there and say, trust the plan. That's what the people say on the internet. And then the Republicans in office will be like, we're going to take you to Congress. And then they don't do anything. So if we're going to start a new party, folks, it's going to be the 100% freedom party. Okay. No more excuses. And I'm going to end with this, and then we're going to read the comments. I don't want to sound like a broken record. That was a joke. You get what I'm saying? All right, listen, maybe not the top comedy. I'll work on it. But in general, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but the theory is very simple. If you don't demand anything, you don't get anything. If you don't hold your ground, you lose your ground. So either we're going to hold our ground or we're going to lose our ground. Either we're going to demand that any government, Republican or Democrat, has to keep our Constitution intact, or we're going to just pretend like it's secretly super happening on an island somewhere because we got Epstein. Okay, Epstein disappeared or died. Okay, they didn't do anything with him either. But either we're going to get it done or not. The Overton window shifts, and I've never seen anything like it. And I'll say, people say, what's your solution? Well, I'm telling you what my solution is. I'm not joining these people. If MAGA acts this way in 2021, I want nothing to do with MAGA if this is how they're going to act. If a Patriot Party forms and it's just a bunch of Zionists, brainwashed cultists who read message boards, who are like mixed between fighting the deep state and literally being the deep state, following people while calling everybody Mossad, and they don't even know what Zionism means, I'll pass. I don't want to be in that party. So I'll do my own thing. We'll start an anti-lockdown movement, a real freedom movement in this country, find the people that aren't far gone and actually stand up for ourselves. And if not, I don't know. I'll try to be self-sustainable and come to grips with reality that the people that I thought were going to save the country, the tens of millions of 50, 80, 90, 100 million patriots that I thought were going to save the country, that I thought were going to stand up for our freedom, that I thought were going to stand up for our Constitution, I'll just admit and be like, listen, the same thing I did with the liberals. I wrote the liberals off years ago. I don't even get upset at them because I just wrote them off. I said, listen, if they want to come back to reality, God bless them. If I have a liberal friend, it's fine. I'm not being mean or anything, but it's like, I see how brainwashed they are. We're living in totally different realities. They're living in an upside down world. There's 10,000 genders and, I don't know. It's like, okay, yeah, okay, for sure. So okay, you live in that world. I'll live in this world. Good luck. When we cross paths, we cross paths, but I'm not entertaining it. I'm going to have to do that. I hope it's not true, but I'm going to have to do that with the MAGA movement if this continues. If people are so desperate to make excuses, if all they want to do is just say what they want to happen instead of look at what's happening, if they can't come to grips with the fact that the only way we're going to stand our ground is by standing our ground. We can't become the left to fight the left to become the left. Like the average conversation on my feed of Patriot influencers is so pathetic. It's like Pelosi's not passing the socialist bill. These people are more concerned with Warspeed vaccines and socialist communist bills than they are with freeing their country, literally. And I'm the crazy one because I felt the same exact way as I did last year, and they've just become total shells of themselves because they're caught in the cult of personality. I want nothing to do with that. So either we start our own party, we start our own movement, and we actually get something done. MAGA people and these people who were lied to by the past 3 years by message boards and just really crappy dot connectors, maybe they come to their senses in January and February. Maybe they join me. Maybe they, maybe we'll come to a point where we just cross paths. We're like, yeah, we agree on a lot of stuff, but I don't want to walk with these people anymore. I've been disgusted all year. It's like, this has been pathetic. I've given you the pass. I've given you the pass because of the election, but now 8 months into the socialist Great Reset plan, and you don't want to actually talk about anything that's happening because it just hurts your feelings or something. It's like, I'm not joining this party. It's not for me. All right. Someone said parties don't matter if the election is rigged. For sure, but here's a point that's even further. Elections don't matter if the country's rigged. So if you vote for Obama and Romney and you get the same thing, the election doesn't matter anyway. This election didn't matter if we had 3 years of getting buttered up by Trump just for them to take us like the Undertaker and body slam the whole country this year. So I voted for Trump to make America great again. I didn't vote for warp speed vaccines and communism, but what I got this year was warp speed vaccines and communism. So the election stopped mattering earlier last year. The election was lost when they passed the CARES Act and they passed the emergency order. And he extended the lockdown past Easter, even when he shouldn't have. And he decided to fund all these people. The election was lost since then, since the mail-in ballots. It was lost in June when they did nothing about Dominion voting then. So it's like, I'm actually unintentionally glad Trump people are finally waking up. They're like, something's wrong. It's been wrong all year. It's been wrong all year. You just woke up today because Mitch McConnell hurt your feelings. Like, it's been wrong all year. The election has not mattered all year. They threw the election the second that they allowed all mass mail-in ballots. They did nothing about the Dominion machines months ago. And we had bipartisan socialism, communism for 5 or 6 months now. So what part about that didn't set off a red flag? Because you love Trump so much, you don't know anything else. It's like, yeah, for sure. Someone said, I like hearing what you're saying, but it seems like nobody's standing their ground. Even the Supreme Court has just folded. Well, here's another thing with the Supreme Court. The number one issue, I'm not even talking about churches, which they did. The Supreme Court, if they do anything, the number one thing they should have done since Amy Coney Barrett got there was free America. Get rid of the mask mandates, make it illegal. If you can't do that, at least make it illegal for all the 50 states to close down restaurants. So this is why I'm disgusted with the MAGA Patriot movement. You've betrayed your own country. That's what I think of people. They've betrayed their own country because we've been suffering for a year and no one challenged the Supreme Court. I'm the only conservative, literally on my entire feed, that I've heard say the Supreme Court should rule closing down businesses unconstitutional. No one said that. All of them are talking about the election. You care about Trump and the election more than you care about your people. You're willing to sacrifice your entire country, everything that we've worked so hard for over the last 300 years, sacrifice it all out the window for this idea that you think he might maybe do something when it's clear that he literally did nothing this year. So nobody cares about opening businesses. I'm the only one who cares. Then I don't want to be in this party. I'll start a small business party of a party who cares and holds both parties accountable. Because if it becomes, I'm a Republican, I'm MAGA, I don't even care, then I don't care about you. I don't care about your movement. It's a fake movement. Watchman Studio said, Jesus 2020, I'm a graphics designer, will gladly help you in any way I can. Well, thank you. Someone said, foolish man, the deaths to COVID are ridiculous. They are ridiculous, but you know who did nothing about it? The Republican Party's done virtually nothing. I mean, DeSantis is doing pretty good work in Florida. Noam's doing pretty good work. The data's obvious. You know what Trump's doing? Nothing for lockdowns, nothing for this country. He's warp speeding vaccines, folks. He's become my worst nightmare. He went from being a hero to my worst nightmare. He's doing everything that's wrong, and he's not doing anything. He's not telling people the data. He's not trying to end the lockdowns. He's not doing any of this stuff. The data is so obvious. He's saying Moderna is so great. Why doesn't Trump? Here's two things that Trump doesn't do. In the Moderna trial, out of the placebo group, 185 people had symptoms, folks. That means over 29,000, 99+% of the people or something involved, 99% or more, didn't have symptoms. Maybe less, maybe 98% or something. It's 100. Why isn't he saying that? He didn't even tell people it's an mRNA vaccine. You know how many people are going to have to get this vaccine or going to get it? People message me and they say, I didn't even know what an mRNA vaccine is. Yeah, because Trump never talks about it. He's a big pharma salesman. And no one cares. It's sick. It's sick what he's doing. He's done nothing to give people the real information. I called him out in March, April, May, June. I gave him a pass for the election. Yeah, beat Biden, okay? We don't want Joe Biden. That's obvious. But at a certain point, you're going to have to do something, or you're not, or you're just watching the country burn. Give us the real data. Show us what's really going on. He's not doing anything. The reporting has been miserable around this stuff, guys. Someone said Bill Gates is still not a doctor. No, but he controls apparently all the doctors in this country. It's hard to even disagree with them, or else you lose your medical license. Alex, thank you so much for the very generous super chat. He said, bless ups, spitting mad truth. The irony is only Trump could get away with this communist wet dream of 2020, not a Dem, because he talked big freedom game. His base trusted him and didn't fight him. Peace. For sure. No way Joe Biden could have got away with this. No way Hillary Clinton could have got away with this. No way Kamala Harris could have got away with this. Mitch McConnell couldn't have got away with this. Romney probably couldn't have got it. The only person who could have pulled this off was Donald Trump. And This is where I have the disconnect. I didn't know so many people didn't care about anything. Like, I liked Trump for what he was doing. I like Trump for, of course I like his personality, but in politics, it's like a business meeting. Why was Trump so good the first 3 years? He did everything we thought he was going to do. He did it. This year, he head faked us 5 times and then did some of the worst things I've ever seen any president do. And he never apologized for it. He still doesn't do the right thing. So yeah, it's like he's the only one who kind of got away with it. But people act like I'm a bad guy. It's not his responsibility for you to act like an adult. If he does something you disagree with, he has disagreements with his team all the time. That's what a meeting is about. You don't just agree with somebody all the time. I had no idea the right wing was this brainwashed. And maybe it's my own fault. I knew the left wing was brainwashed. I thought we were building a movement of like free thinkers. That's they'll sell shirts, free thinkers, free thinkers. That's what I am. I thought we were a free thinker. I thought if Trump did something we disagreed with, we could voice our opinions and say, listen, I like the guy, but this is kind of whack. And every bit of the way, people just got more and more brainwashed. It's like, that's not what it is. We have to become the left because communism's good now. He's not really rushing the vaccine. He doesn't mean vaccine. The Q morons, they told everybody all year, they're like, Trump doesn't mean vaccines. When he means vaccines, he secretly means therapeutics. He's talking about hydroxychloroquine when he talks about vaccines. He's using the military. These people are the biggest pathetic con artists on the internet. These decoders, they just take information from a message board that's cryptic and then decode it and make up their own theories however they want. They're like, he's not doing Operation Warp. They've lied to people. They've brainwashed and hijacked the MAGA movement into pure delusion, ran them off a cliff. That's why these people won't debate me. They just harass me on Twitter anonymously because they won't show their face. They're probably embarrassed of themselves. They're like, anomaly, I know it could happen, but I don't want it to happen, so I don't want to believe it. Are we 5 years old? Like, mommy, I want to go to the fair. I'm just going to hallucinate that I'm there because you didn't take me. It's like, I wanted it all to happen too. And I still think good things can happen. I'm optimistic for us, not necessarily, certain movements we'll see, but in general, it's like, yeah, if it doesn't happen at a certain point, you have to be a grown man and be like, well, that didn't go the way I wanted it to. So now what do we do about it? Let's just talk to Trump. Let's hold him accountable. Let's hold Mitch McConnell accountable. It's that easy. It's that simple. But people don't do that. Like, I don't want to, if you even dare stand up for the country, you're the problem. They lied every step of the way all the year. Someone said, not looking good, y'all. But this is not a new thing. In a way, there's always like a rude awakening. Like, this is the rude awakening for the MAGA movement. It's been, and I'm not dooming and glooming. We're going to have a good 2021 if people wake up. It's been bad all year and you didn't care. No, I'm not saying you particularly. Maybe you did, but no one cared. I saw MAGA sacrifice their own countrymen. I saw Trump do nothing to save this country, and nobody cared. And if you questioned him, even respectfully, people freaked out at you. Here, I'm going to read some of the comments on me. I just posted what President Trump said about Operation Warp Speed. People are like, maybe he's secretly being the left. It's like, guys, why are you acting this way? You need a rude awakening. It's like when people watch Fox News, it's like if you trust Fox News too much, you need a rude awakening. Like, obviously, there's some good people on Fox. I never liked Fox. I feel like they're screaming at me. They just sell a bunch of pharmacy commercials. It's a lot of fear mongering on Fox. It's like, oh my God, we're all going to die. It's like, I never really liked Fox News, but there's a few winners on there and there's some good segments. But to me, it seems all fake. So the point I'm getting to, if you trust Fox News for 3 or 4 years and they stab you in the back, it's not nice, but it's a rude awakening. It's like, well, Fox is not to be trusted. Now everybody knows not to trust Fox News. That's a good thing. McConnell, gets mad. If you trusted Mitch McConnell like he was a Ninja Turtle or something, because he kind of looks like one, that's not his fault. That's your fault. He's a politician. He's a Republican politician. He'll do some conservative things. He'll do some establishment things. That's who Mitch McConnell is. So it's the same thing for Trump. It's like with Trump, people need a rude awakening because the cult of Trump got bigger than the country, which at a certain point, if he's going with the country, that's fine. I had no problem with it. But then he went against the country and no one stood for the country. So you need a rude awakening because it's like sacrificing your own people for this idea that it might super secretly happen. No disrespect to Mitch. Someone said the Dems are smashing the Constitution. The Republicans destroyed the Constitution this year, destroyed it. We had a Republican president, destroyed the Constitution. A Republican Senate, destroyed the Constitution. We have a Republican Supreme Court. They're doing nothing to preserve not only the election, which everyone cares about, but what about small businesses? I'm sorry, but that's more important. What happened to this country on any level is the most important thing. Save these small businesses. Every day that we wait, millions of people are losing millions of dollars. Millions of people are losing everything. They're losing everything that they've worked for. Where's the Supreme Court? So this is what I'm talking about. You say it's just the Democrats. Yeah, Biden's going to be a nightmare. Biden is a nightmare, okay? His whole cabinet's a nightmare. But they couldn't have done all of this without the lob from the Republican Party. It's like, I call him John Stockton. The Republican Party lobs the ball, and the Democrats are about to dunk it in your face. Trump lobs them with Operation Warspeed, and then they dunk it in your face. And you say, it's the Democrats. It's the Republicans too. Well, it's Mitch McConnell. It's Trump too. It's Trump too. I wish it wasn't, but that's kind of what happened. I don't know what to tell you. So either people in this country are going to stand on their ground, or people in this country are just going to get rocked. The trust the planners are going to just make people just wait and just wait for the government. It's like, that's not going to work. I'm sorry. All right, read some comments. Someone said they call it political theater for a reason, said Brian on Facebook. This year has so obviously been theater. The first 3 years were pretty good. I'm not going to lie. You know, everything doesn't go my way all the time, but the first 3 years, whatever. Trump does a few things I don't agree with. I'm calling it out, but it's like, listen, I get it. This year was a disaster, and it was massive theater the whole time. It's hard to ignore it. Someone said, here's the thing. Someone said each state was responsible for closing their states. I'm going to say it again, guys. Are governors responsible? Absolutely. But this is why the Republican Party loses, folks. I'm going to keep saying it and sound like a broken record. In blue states with blue governors, do you know what red mayors do, guys? Do you know what my mayor does and all the red mayors do? Nothing. So if you have a blue state with a blue governor and a red mayor, the red mayors are pathetic. The Republican Party is pathetic, folks. Do you know what happens with a red governor like Abbott and a blue mayor? The blue mayor runs the show, and Governor Abbott is pathetic. They do nothing. So how come blue mayors can do whatever they want, but red mayors can't do whatever they want? How come blue governors can do whatever they want, but red governors can't do whatever they want? How come blue presidents can pass executive orders for DACA and do whatever they want unconstitutionally, but Trump's allowed to strip our freedoms but not give it back? You deserve these people. You deserve a Trump that does nothing for you. You deserve Mitch McConnell. I can't even blame them. Why would anyone do anything for such a pathetic base? And I'm not making fun of you, but it's like, it's the Republicans are do-nothings, and you guys just love it. I hate it. They do nothing. Red mayors do nothing. Blue mayors run the show. Blue governors run the show. Red mayors do nothing. Even Ron DeSantis can't reel in blue cities, but Governor Newsom can reel in red cities. Do you know why? Because Republicans are pussies, folks. And the base just eats it up. They just think, well, we have no part in this. You have every part in it. Your team is just pussies. It's like they play by the rules, but they don't enforce the rules. The Democrats don't play by any rules. They're playing a totally different game. They're stealing the ball. They're kicking your legs. They're not playing by the rules. The Republicans say, I'm playing by the rules. Trump can't do anything. Trump has no power. He can't do anything. He's playing by the rules, but he's not even enforcing the rules. You guys are like a cardboard cutout. No one respects you. No one respects Republicans. No one is afraid of the conservative base. They're tweeting, I'm just going to remind you that Kamala Harris only came in 5th place in her own state. No one cares that happened because Kamala Harris is disgusting hyena laughing her way to the bank. Because who cares? It's like, yeah, she finished 5th, but she's still going to weasel her way into the White House. No one's afraid of your tweets, guys. No one's afraid of your little trendy like bumper stickers that you don't agree with. It's like at a certain point, yes, Trump had a place in it. He signed the emergency order. Read it. He passed the CARES Act. Read it. He did Operation Warspeed. Read it. He was pro-lockdown for 2 months. Look it up. He did the guidelines. He is the leader of the free world, was leading people to lock down and got mad at people who opened up when he told them to lock down. That literally happened. So this is why Republicans lose. You guys are so, I'm sorry, but it's like, are we going to be a strong movement? Are we going to demand something? Or are we just going to make excuses for everything? It's so sad. It's so sad. Blue governors do whatever they want. Red cities cuck out every time. Blue mayors, how come they don't get controlled by the governor? Because they don't respect you. No one respects you because you guys don't do anything. No, who would respect anyone? It's like, well, oh yeah, they're afraid of the Q people because they're screaming, lock them up. No one's afraid of you. You're hallucinating things that never happened. They ban you because you make it easy. But in general, someone said, what's the answer to this? Well, the optimist me a year ago would have said, we'll stand our ground. The police will stand their ground. The military will stand their ground. And the Patriots will stand their ground. But what happened this year? In reality, the police didn't really do that much. The military is controlled. And the people, the Patriots in this country are too busy hallucinating excuses than they are actually standing up for their country. So what's the solution? Save yourself, folks. Save yourself. Save your family. Understand that this party is just filled with pussies and, live somewhere accordingly. Try to find somewhere safe and nice with a good community. It's probably a good idea. But if people are this big of pussies and cowards and just completely delusional, I mean, we could pretend like there's some sort of super secret plan. I thought the plan was we the people, but we the people are like professional excuse makers. It's insane. I've never seen anything like it. It's like, I'm ready. I'm like, all right. Okay, our country's getting taken over, bipartisan tyranny, Operation Warspeed. Hey, let's just say no. And everyone's like, what if instead of saying no, we said yes? What if we became the left to fight the left? It's like, yeah, if 50% of patriots act like that, you're screwed. So, I mean, what's the plan? Protect yourself, save your family, stand up for your country. If enough people stand up for their country, this would be really easy. But it's not easy because everyone's so pathetic. I don't know any other way to say it. Someone said stand with Trump. Stand with Trump. Stand with Trump for however long you want. And, when Operation Warp Speed comes and people are, faced with the decision to either get the vaccine or lose their job, stand with Trump. When Trump does nothing to end the lockdowns and you say he had no part in it, even though he had the most crucial role in it at the beginning, stand with Trump. You could stand on a hill with him and just watch millions of small businesses die and just say, well, I don't care about that, but at least I'm standing with the guy I like. So you could stand with Trump, but at a certain point, if you stood with the country and stood your ground to him, he might actually do something, as opposed to, I don't know, just forfeiting the country this year to Big Pharma. Someone said, I never heard a patriot say be like the left. It happens every time I go live, folks. People don't want to see this stuff, so you're doomed. I'm not doomed because I don't act this way. You are, if you act this way. They do. They say anomaly. Maybe he had to pass the Operation Warp Speed to get the country free. They're not going to say we're going to be like the left, but they're being like the left. Yeah, they don't say it, but that's what they're doing. So yeah, just because they don't know they're doing it, it doesn't matter. It's so sad. It's like this year, the right became the left. You just don't say I'm the left. You blame the Democrats. You do it and then blame them. Operation Warp Speed. Oh, we're doing it to please Fauci. Well, why are you pleasing Fauci? What does Fauci want? He wants what the left wants. So if you please him, you are him. You became Fauci. Trump became Bill Gates to please Bill Gates, but you're not the left because you don't admit it. It's a joke, folks. It doesn't matter if you tell the truth to yourself. Someone said go on the Tim Pool show. Maybe. Someone said the Amish got it right. They're crushing. Someone said it's all three tech and corporations, not just big pharma. I agree, but at a certain point, here's what I'm trying to say. I literally, it's not even, I do actually have a good time. My throat hurts because I've been talking a lot the last weekend. But in general, it's like, okay, let's look at big pharma and tech, okay? Who was the president who helped big pharma the most, probably? Ronald Reagan with the National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act. If it's big tech, we had three branches of government, folks. Republicans are pussies. We had all three branches of government, but Republicans are pussies. We had two branches of government, but Republicans are pussies. So we could have reformed Section 230, but the Republicans didn't give a crap about you until they got censored late in 2020. And by that time, it was too late to do anything. So we know who it is, But I'm saying Republicans don't do anything ever. And when I stand here and say it's time to do something for the first time in 4 years, actually get something done, you say, well, let's just make excuses about it. You deserve Mitch McConnell. You deserve Operation Warspeed Trump. You deserve Paul Ryan. You deserve Mitt Romney. You deserve Ducey. You deserve Kemp. You deserve all these people because you love it. You love it. You're like, what? It's not just it's them. I know it's them, and who does nothing about it? What's the point of voting for people so they could sit up there and tell you all the problems and then do nothing about it? They might as well not be there then. Yes, it's big pharma. Trump funds them. Reagan gives them accountability bills. Yes, it's big tech. Republicans do nothing to stop them. So what is it besides the circus? They might as well just get one of those canes and go like they might as well just dance like a bunch of circus clowns if that's what it is. Yeah, we know the problems. Republicans do nothing. They're the biggest pussies. And I'm sorry, but just reading the comments, people deserve this party. This is why you have this party. The people at the top are representative of the people under it. If you love this stuff and eat it up, why wouldn't you get it? Operation Warp Speed, 4 more years of it. You'll get a new leader like him, Trump, that does the same thing. They have no spine, no stand, no fight. It's all talk. Come on, guys. Someone said, how useless is Parler? Parler's cool. I mean, it's cool for what it is. What do you suggest one does if living in Florida? I realize we have it real good in comparison. Grateful, but feel helpless too. Want to do more. Masha, do what you want. God bless you. I mean, if just enjoy your life. I don't know. Have a good time. It's fine. You're not in government and you don't have to do everything. I'm just saying, like, when tens of millions of people get together, I'm not trying to overwhelm you, Masha, or anyone else. When tens of millions of people get together, you're a movement, okay? The Patriot movement, the Trump movement, the MAGA movement, okay? You're a force to be reckoned with. But we're not a force to be reckoned with as a collection because we're a collective of pussies at the top and excuse makers at the bottom. So we have this huge movement. We have one of the biggest movements in modern history, and we're not leveraging our power. Our power is being leveraged making excuses for communism, making excuses for Operation Warp Speed, just a circus dance over the election when they're not really even doing that much. So it's like, that's what I'm trying to say. We have the power. We don't use it. What's the point of having 100 million people who just sit there and make excuses when nothing happens and hallucinate fake theories? That's what I'm saying. So not you. You can't really do anything. I can't really do anything. But as a collective, we could have done a lot. We can do a lot. We will do a lot, but not if everybody just, well, it's not Trump. I mean, it's the governors. It's this, it's that. No, the Republican Party sucks. The Democratic Party is evil. The Republican Party is pathetic. Okay? They're pathetic. So that's what we can do. Someone said you should run for office or something. I don't want to even be in politics because in general, in order to be a leader, in order to do something, in order to make a change, you don't have to be in politics. There's certain musicians who have more influence than politicians. There's certain leaders that have more power than most governors and such. So, I just don't want to get in the arena of politics. And I don't believe, here's my difference. I don't think me sitting in the White House or me sitting in Congress or me sitting in the government, I don't think I'm the answer. I don't think government's the answer. It's the people. So I could lead people just as easily from here. If enough people, it doesn't matter if it's Trump. It doesn't matter if it's Biden. It doesn't matter if it's, whoever. If you don't allow it, it won't happen. So it's up to us. But we don't have. There's a movement of excuse makers. There's a movement of, like, when I scroll through Twitter, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed of my peers. They're still sharing socialism sucks memes. It's the left. Blame them. Red-haired liberals. Oh, Nancy Pelosi. It's like, you guys are pathetic. I'm sorry. It's pathetic. It's like the year that America needed patriots. Literally, people just defaulted to like low-hanging fruit memes about like literally nothing. It's like, really? That's what you're going to do this year? Someone said the party with guns is standing idle. I agree, Jorge. But here's what I'm going to say. I'm not blaming Trump, but the only reason this happened because he was here. And I'm not blaming him. I'm just being honest. If this was a Democrat, there's no way gun owners and patriots and Trump supporters, there's no way people would have accepted this for 20 days. There's no way people would have known right from the beginning, 15 days to slow the spread. They would have immediately had riots or had militias outside of government. The only thing that's quelling the movement of gun owners and patriots is Trump's presence. I'm not blaming him. He didn't tell people to act this way, but for some reason, his presence just makes everyone go. It used to get people hyped up. It's like, yeah, MAGA. And then this year, like people just went. So yeah, it's like, I would like him to win, but at the same time, if him winning means everybody just does nothing, then it's like, maybe people need a rude awakening. I wish it wasn't that way, but it does seem to be like it's that way. Forrest said, I've been thinking of shifting my software skills to making freedom perspective software. I don't know where to start. Any ideas? It's a cool idea. I don't know much about software, brother, so I can't. Satina, thank you so much. You didn't have to do that. Thank you, Satina. And thank you for filming this weekend. You crushed it. Crafty said, Shades of Gray said, Crafty Shades of Gray. Sorry, I read that wrong. We laid down to the bull crap. I'm embarrassed by the sheep of my own party. Why are we willing to accept this? I don't know, but I don't have an off button, folks. I mean, I sleep and I rest, but it's like, I'm more disappointed with people in the Trump movement than I am with Trump. Trump's got things to deal with. I get it. I don't have to agree with him all the time. This is not a religion. Okay. I don't mind disagreeing with Trump, just like I don't mind disagreeing with my boss sometimes. I'm embarrassed by the Patriot movement. I'm embarrassed by the MAGA movement. It really, there's something weird about it. I don't know. It's like people think I'm blaming him completely. It's like I'm blaming us. I'm blaming the people who follow him because they don't ever question him. They don't ever stand up to him. I didn't think this would happen. I never thought this would happen. Someone said VK has you all pissy. No, dude, you could see. I mean, I'll make a compilation of everything I've been saying since 2020. I've been saying this for 8 months. I would love to debate VK. He doesn't. I guess he wants to stay anonymous. He doesn't want to do audio or video. So all he does is make straw man arguments. I say this, he says that. I say this, he says that. He doesn't address anything I'm saying and just makes up things that don't even make sense. He's like, I just want to. I would blow him out of the water in an audio or video debate. If he doesn't want to do his audio or video, that's fine. I understand he wants to stay anonymous. But in general, there's no point in texting with somebody. Text, straw man argument. These people can't hold a candle to me. I blow them out of the water in a debate. I'm sorry. So any of these top Q influencers that are telling people to just wait for the super secret plan and that Operation Warp Speed's a military program, they're con artists. They don't do well in audio or video. They can't debate me because I'm not a liar. They're liars. So what they do is they just sit among people who agree with them and just make up theories. My audience demands truth. My audience you guys are so smart. When I make mistakes, I really work hard to try to not give out any like wrong information ever. But the few times I've been semi-lazy and just posted something, immediately the top comment corrected me because I have an audience of really smart people. So when I mess up, which is not that much because I really pride myself in not being a liar, I've been corrected immediately. They are amongst people that don't correct them because the whole movement is based on loose things that they're not even sure are happening. So how can you correct someone that you don't even know if they're telling the truth? We base this movement in reality and truth. So if I slip up, people will know. He needs to stay in text base. He needs to stay amongst his audience because challenging his fake lies with the real reality. I mean, imagine if I just sat here and told people that Operation Warp Speed was a super secret military operation. It's not. It never was. That's not what Trump says it is. No one says it is. Only VK on Twitter to 300,000 people, and people believe it. Why? Because they don't want to believe Operation Warp Speed is a vaccine program. They'd rather think it's a secret therapy operation of the military. It's pathetic. So he's just a liar. He doesn't have me salty. It's like I'd blow the guy out of the water in a debate. He just has to sit. He's like, but Anomaly, I agree with you on everything. I'm just afraid of what would happen if my fake theories are not right. It's like, well, then be a man. It's like, maybe if you're wrong, you have to stand up for yourself, Vincent. Maybe that's I'm afraid of what happens if everyone doesn't wipe my butt. So he's admitting like, I'm probably wrong, but he's like, it's either this or civil war. So I want to believe this. Like, cool. I get it. You're like a coping baby that lies to yourself in order to, justify fake theories that literally just quell the Patriot movement into pure like coddledom. It's pathetic. Satina said, new party, the constitutionalists, out with the old, in with the new, burn the old parties to the ground and start fresh. God bless Satina. I mean, the Republican Party, I think, can be salvaged, but it's really, maybe they need a new party, but it can't be a party of the same people with the same type of leaders. This is my thought. Let me know what you guys think. But, you know, when it comes to, sorry, I forgot where I was, but I think people need to demand certain things. I remember what I was talking about. People always talk about term limits. I don't think term limits is the problem. When you look at CIA, FBI, people like Fauci, these things stay there no matter who's there. So it's like that to me is a bigger thing, and the government corporate alliance for certain things, it's bigger than term limits. If you got rid of term limits, you'd get less Nancy Pelosi's and more Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's. I just don't think that's progress. I don't think AOC is better than Nancy Pelosi. She's a different type of psychopath. Which one's worse? I don't know. Let's, have a simulation and figure out which one leads us to hell faster. But I think that that's true even with the Republican Party. Like, if you have term limits, you're going to get people like Madison Cawthorn, the guy who's in a wheelchair. Seems like a nice guy, but he's like a George Bush neocon. So it's like, yeah, we'd replace a Mitch McConnell with a younger Mitch McConnell. It's like, I feel like the people think it's the term limits thing or starting a new party. It could be, but it's really us. And that's why I try to wake people up where it's like, it could be the Republican Party. We could have had what we wanted this year with the Republican Party. We could have it next year with the Republican Party. We can make a new party. But if we make a new party with the same mindset, we're going to get the same party. I think that's true, where that's why I'm talking about the Patriot Party. These people have the same GOP rhino mindset. They just call rhinos and act like rhinos. It's like, and then they get freaked out when people talk about ending the lockdowns. It's like, how that's not going to help us. Someone said Rand Paul. I like a little Rand. He seems like he's a step ahead of a lot of the Republicans, but we'll see. Someone said we need a new party. Here's the thing, though. I mean, I don't want to repeat myself, but it's not going to matter unless the mindset changes. If the MAGA party rebrands as the Patriot Party, it's going to be the Republican Party in a new form. The MAGA movement was a movement in the first 3 years. This is what's so frustrating. The MAGA movement was everything. We're deep diving. People are talking. It's like, I don't mind the Q people because, like, okay, they're talking about human trafficking. Good. Knock them out. Just all I ask for and all I've ever asked for is be accurate. If you're like 70% accurate and 30% spontaneous, you're not that impressive. You're just you're that's why you stay anonymous. Like, yeah, you're kind of accurate. Sometimes you're just be accurate and blow it out of the water. Human trafficking is real. It should be researched. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're getting free speech. Like, the MAGA movement was crushing it. We were the new movement. We're not the Republican Party. We're the new wave of patriots, of truthers. And then this year, just Operation, whatever it's called, coronavirus. And then not only the country got walloped, the movement got walloped, because instead of standing in our ground and being like, we're still the party of freedom, we're still the anti-communism, we became communists. It's like, well, communism's fine if our guy does it. The whole movement got totally either psyoped or just like compromised, or I don't know, like in denial or something. I mean, what a dupe this year was. So it's like that our movement was supposed to be that movement. That's all I'm saying. We can still be that movement. I'm trying to challenge people, That's why I'm trying to debate. Any person that thinks, and this is the thing, any person that thinks Operation Warp Speed is a military operation to arrest their enemies, debate me. They won't debate me because they would get crushed, because they don't know what they're talking about. They literally, every time I say something to them, they straw man argument. They're like, well, Trump arrested human traffickers last week. I'm like, yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. But why because Trump arrested human traffickers last week, why do you think that gives you the right to lie about Operation Warp Speed? How is that impressive? Because I agree with you, but you're still wrong about that. All they do is straw man arguments. That's why they stay anonymous on Twitter and just sheep herd a bunch of patriots into just believing half truths. I would love to debate it. Why? I don't need attention. They're like, oh, you're doing it for PR. You think I need attention from you people? I already have 600 million views. I want less attention. And I don't want attention from these people because they don't like me that much. But in general, I want a free patriot's mind. I want people to know this is real, but this is not real. These people are liars. So let's stand our ground instead of just blowing in the wind, waiting for Pelosi. Someone said, are we still talking about this? Yes. If people want to change the topic, but Dana said Operation Warp Speed is evil, toxic trash. I agree. I don't have it in me. And thank you, Dana. I know we still have some patriots and some legends here. I don't have it in me to change my whole theory on this just because I like Trump. Operation Warp Speed, I like Trump. No, Operation Warp Speed is what it is. It's not what you said it is. These people are professional liars, folks. They call themselves patriots. They say trust the plan. And then they tell people to not believe Operation Warp Speed is what it is. And then they say that they're being helpful. No, you're a con artist. You're helping the devil. You're not helping God. You're helping the devil. You're duping millions of freedom fighters into not fighting for their freedom because you're telling them something bad is secretly something good. You're working for Satan. So, and I've heard one of the people say that. One of the guys that lied to me in March and April, I'm not going to say his name, but he came at me. He said, F you, trust the plan. The lockdowns are good. He apologized, but he was like, I felt like I had a demon. He's like, I felt like I got filled with a demon at the time. I'm not saying everybody feels this way, but it's like, if you're lying about a vaccine program and telling millions of people that it's not a vaccine program and they trust you because you also talk about human trafficking, you're not working for God. You're working for the devil. You're convincing. Do you know how many kids are going to have to take this and parents are going to have to take this and they're not even going to believe it because of what you told them, or you just quelled them instead of actually standing up for themselves? It's disgusting. Someone said Operation Warp Speed is great. I mean, you could take mine if you think so. That's fine. I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but not great for me. Someone said 4 people who took COVID vaccine got Bell's palsy. Did I see that story? Yeah, of course. I saw that story. And this is the point that Trump's not saying and no one's saying, because he's a vaccine salesman now. He's just making money for them. He's making money. Out of the Moderna trial, this is not the Pfizer one. The Bell's palsy, I think, was the Pfizer one. Out of the Moderna trial, in the placebo group, only 185 people out of 30,000 had a, what's it called? Or it's like no one else even knew they had it out of that group. So it's like it's such a mild virus. This is evil. Operation Warp Speed is evil. I don't think it's good. If you think it's good, that's fine. I think it's evil. And I'm going to say this too. I have the other video about it. You can go back to 2 weeks ago, but everything that happened this year, I'm not going to name all the things, but 10 things were rolled out this year: financially, telecommunication wise, vaccine wise, lifestyle wise, isolation wise, mask mandate wise. There's physical effects to isolation, taking away joy in theme parks and vacations, like all of the negative health effects of everything that they did this year. They did it all purposely. Do you know why Trust rushed it? Because anything that happens from Operation Warp Speed, they're just going to say it's COVID-19. And how are you going to know? How are you going to tell them otherwise? It's not the thing that we gave you. It's COVID-19. If there's a second wave next year under Trump or Biden, whoever takes it, it's COVID-19. They're rushing every evil program through this year. So for the next 20 years, the side effects that you're going to see that most likely at this point are going to drastically change humanity in a way we've never seen it before. They're going to call it all Operation Warp Speed. And the guy that you thought was going to stand up and say it wasn't worked with them to do it. But whatever. Someone said the kids. Well, I'm just going to read it real quick. I think a lot of holistic moms know this. I'm just reading it right off Wikipedia. This is the National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act. The National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act of 1986 was signed into law by United States President Ronald Reagan as part of a larger health bill on November 14th, 1986. The purpose was to eliminate potential financial liability of vaccine manufacturers due to vaccine injury claims, to ensure a stable market supply of vaccines, and to provide cost-effective arbitration for vaccine claims. Under the NVCVIA, the National Vaccine Injury Compensation Program was created to provide a federal no-fault system for compensating vaccine-related injuries or death by establishing a claim procedure involving the United States Courts of Federal Claim and Special Masters. So this was done under Reagan's administration. if the government didn't save the vaccine industry because of lawsuits from childhood injuries or people claiming that their child was injured, they were probably going to go bankrupt or lose a lot of money. So the government stepped in. This is, of course, oh, it's a free market. No, it's not. The government stepped in and created a whole claims for now when you sue, they have no liability, folks, no matter what they give your kid, no matter what they give you, no matter what it does, a side effect, you have this or that. First of all, the media just destroys your life, if not worse. They come after you. They make you look like a maniac. They destroy your page. They kick you off of social media. They edit your Wikipedia to make you look horrible. The devil comes after you like you couldn't imagine, and they settle it out in court. But it's not Pfizer who's going to pay for it. It's going to be the U.S. government. It's not going to be Moderna who pays for it. It's going to be the U.S. government. So they have they have very little incentive to actually care. It's like they're not going to lose a single dollar from it. So this is really important. When this comes out, you could say what you want about Trump. Millions of people are going to get this vaccine, and not a single one of these companies is going to be held liable for any of this stuff, most likely, because it all goes through the government. This matters, folks. If you want to save this country, you would look at something like that and maybe reverse it or maybe have a conversation about it. Trump didn't do that. He didn't side with RFK Jr. He didn't start a vaccine safety program. He closed it out at the behest of the people he hired. He hired Eli Lilly executives. He hired a Pfizer executive. His guy, Alex Azar, look into who he hired at Health and Human Services and in the CDC. He worked with Big Pharma early on. He never did anything about this, and he's become a vaccine salesman. So I find it very evil. And, maybe he has a reason for it. I simply don't care. Someone said Trump won't do the Insurrection Act. Anything is possible. I'm not going to rule it out. This is a crazy year. Trump has a few things he could do. Here's all I'm operating off. I say this all the time. Just show me. I've heard this story a million times. I've seen nothing done. I've seen nothing done about Epstein. I've seen very little done about Ghislaine Maxwell. I've seen nothing with Las Vegas and this and that. And there's all these things. And I just see no one do anything ever. They just sweep it under the rug. So when you're batting 0 for 5,000, it's like, could he use the Insurrection Act? Yeah, but he could have used it during the Antifa riots. He didn't use it. They never use it. So it's like, am I going to build my whole life around waiting for something that statistically literally never happens? I mean, I hope it does, of course, but if it happens, it happens. It's not going to affect, you get what I'm saying? This, I think, is the difference. And it's important to frame it this way. If we're all working for freedom, someone said unfollowed, congratulations. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. If we're doing the right thing, if we're standing in truth, if we're demanding truth from Trump or the Republicans or whoever, if we do that there's no downside to that. If Trump uses the Insurrection Act, these things are not mutually exclusive. You get what I'm saying? We can fight for freedom and Trump can use the Insurrection Act. Here's where we differ. I want to fight for freedom either way. If Trump joins us on that path, that's great. If he does it, then he likes what we're doing. If he doesn't, he feels more pressure to do it. But you think just waiting, and I'm not saying you, but people think just waiting for the Insurrection Act is like the answer. It's like, well, it's like if he does, there's no downside to fighting for your freedom. There's no downside to fighting for your First Amendment. There's no downside for protecting your Second Amendment. There's no downside from not agreeing with communism. There's no downside to fighting against the lockdowns. He can do all this stuff even with you standing up for yourself. Like, I don't know, and I do know who told you, the message board decoders on Twitter who hide anonymous, but I don't know who told you, but I do know who told you that it's a really good idea to just wait because this is all going to happen. These are not mutually exclusive. You could do all this and still assume that it could happen. But if you build your whole career and your whole life around waiting for all of your enemies to be arrested, it's like it's going to end bad. I don't understand why people think that's a good idea. Like, even people are like, if Trump does good things, we told you so. You didn't tell me anything. You can watch my videos all this year. Find the video where I said that Trump can't do anything, where I said Trump loses, it's impossible, he's on his way out, he lost. Here, let me look for that video. It doesn't exist. I've never said that because it's not true. I am not a liar. How come the betting odds still have Trump with 5 or 6%? How come he's not at 0%? Do you know why? because it's not over. It's not over on the betting websites. It's not over on Anomaly's channel. I've never said Trump's over. I never said he doesn't have an executive order. I report things accurately. Unlike you, the only other person I've seen recently who's done accurate reporting is the guy, David Knight. You know, he's way less sensational than Alex and Owen. I like Owen, but no disrespect. I'm just saying David's like a calmer guy. He's crushing it. He's reporting accurately what's going on with Operation Warp Speed. He's reporting the election accurately. I watched it last night. He said the same thing that I said. It's like, yeah, Trump still has a chance, but we'll see what happens. Like, it's not like if something good happens, you get to claim responsibility for it. You're not doing anything. Just like it's like Anomaly. When everything good happens, I don't work for the devil. I'm not like wishing for doom and gloom. I hope good things happen, but the difference is I actually want to be a part of it, and you just want to be on the sidelines and like cling on and just think that that's a good idea. I think it's a really dumb idea. So there's nothing to tell me if Trump uses the Insurrection Act or he uses the executive order, because I never said it couldn't happen. Someone said it could be against us. For sure. There's any scheme under the sun. I'm not saying it's good or bad, it's right or wrong, but I'm just saying in general, I never said that these aren't a possibility. I'm just being honest. I haven't seen it done. Someone said, Anomaly, join us for the Censor You movement at Censor You on IG. We're finally going to Silicon Valley. All right. Message me about it, Morgan. Thank you. In general, it's like, yeah, I don't know. Someone said, stop grabbing yourself. I'm like, it's these pants I'm wearing. You can't see it. I'm wearing these like really, they're like, I shrunk them in the dryer or something. They're like tight. Like, I'm not touching my butt. I'm just like grabbing my sweatpants and pulling them up because they keep getting like tight. Sorry, too much information, but someone's like, stop grabbing your pants. I'm like, they're too tight. I need to go shopping, but everyone kicks me out because I don't have a mask on. So I don't go shopping anymore. I have old shoes. Someone said, I don't want to see your pants. No, it's fine. Sorry. Too much information. Someone said COVID-20 hit you too. I don't know about COVID-20. Someone said, Anomaly on that Operation Warp Speed bandwagon. You sound like Brian. Yeah, I mean, it's just the truth. I've said it since May. It's not like a new thing. I understood the election and I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. But yeah, I've said it since Operation Warp Speed came out. I was like, I don't agree with this. And since Trump announced it, it just got worse and worse and worse and faster and faster and faster. And now it's like I thought he, would maybe turn around or something, but I've been saying it since the day it launched. I never liked it. All right, let's read a few more. I'm going to read this real quick. The Great Conspiracy said, all of the Anons that were bringing truth and got attacked by big tech, deleted off YouTube, Patreon, Etsy, etc. Why, if they are just a LARP? It's because they were bringing out so much truth and exposing it. Well, here's the thing. I think there are truths that are going on out of that movement. I've never said otherwise. As far as there's certain things that you guys are saying that are real. It's real provable. But a lot of these people get really sloppy too. For instance, I'll give you an example with someone like Alex Jones. Alex Jones, he's had to apologize multiple times because he's so loose with his reporting that sometimes he says something that gets him sued and he would lose the lawsuit. So he has to back out. So if you're a public influencer, are the Q people telling some truths? Absolutely. Is human trafficking real? 1000%. Is some of the dot connecting good? For sure. But it's like real information tied with just super secretly wait for everybody all the time. It's all going to go Guantanamo come for you. It's like, it doesn't mean there's people who lose everything that are not just 100% accurate. Like, me and Milo agree and disagree on some things. Like, I don't think Milo got deleted. I don't think Milo is like Jesus Christ returned, that he's never said anything wrong. I like Laura Loomer. She got banned. We have different, foreign policy. She got banned because she's perfect. Her foreign policy is flawless and no one can disagree with it. It's like, and no disrespect to Laura, it's like, we agree on and disagree on some things, but it's like, just because you get banned doesn't mean you're 100% accurate on everything you say. And I think people think that, which adds to kind of the mystique of it. But there's definitely, if you're right wing and you're into any sort of conspiracies, you have a very higher chance of getting censored. No question. Someone said Alex Jones has explained himself to that. Well, I'm talking about the one time he was talking about like Chobani yogurt, and he said something about Chobani, and he apologized. He apologized because he had a lawsuit. And when you talk loosely, that's the thing. Like, there's certain things you could say. If you're dead on and spot on accurate, they can't mess with you. But if you're so loose and you make jokes and you say stuff like Alex does, you know, and you say things that, although what the full context of what you're talking, and this is the same thing with the Q thing, in my opinion, the full context of what you're talking about is real, but in that pursuit of that full context truth, you start getting loose with everything you're saying, you're going to be a lot more liable, you know? Someone said blame China and the lefty side. Dude, be honest. It's a low level analysis of it. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like, it's bigger than China. Is China part of it? For sure. But it's just, it's not just the left, and it's not just China. It's the Republican Party. It's the U.S. government. It's people beholden to other countries besides Israel. It's big. I'm sorry, big besides America, which is Israel. It's big money, you know, in both sides of people that have nothing to do with China, and it's China. So there's multiple countries involved. There's multiple people. But to me, it's like, it's the left in China. That's how you get nowhere. You blame China. It's just as much Fauci than it is China. Fauci's working in China, okay? It's like he's in the U.S. government, but whatever. Someone said Alex said he was a Freemason. Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I don't watch enough. I'm telling you, on his network, David Knight, and I've always thought David Knight was kind of boring. He's nailing what's going on. He seems to be one of the few people that I've seen that makes me feel sane, because he's not lying about it all. Like, you know, he's telling the truth about what Trump's doing. Like, he's like, listen, I'm sure David Knight liked Trump, but he's like, this is what Operation Warspeed is. This is crazy, you know? And he's talking about the election accurately. I watched his thing the other day. I was like, that guy's not lying. It's very, very rare. All right, a few more questions and we'll take off. Someone said I've loved him until tonight. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. You'll get over it. If you want to unfollow, I don't care. Trust me. Someone said David Knight's boring but filled with facts and integrity. No, it's true. It's true. He did a good job calling out that one guy who was saying there were super secret watermark ballots, like Alex and Owen were having him on, and David said that he was like a government agent trying to make InfoWars look bad. I think that was spot on, honestly. I think he's pretty good. Yeah, no, I heard his thing. I was like, he's an honest guy. He's pretty good. Someone said, is there any excuse at all for warp speed? I mean, here's the thing. You could make excuses. Like, if you want to make excuses, yeah, I'm sure I could think of 10 excuses. I don't want to make excuses. I don't know. I'm not in the business of just making excuses. So could you make an excuse for it? Yeah, you could say, well, Trump's being the left to fight the left. There's an excuse. You could say, well, secretly it might be like, what's his name? The guy, Vincent Kennedy on Twitter. This guy is such a liar, but he still likes me because he knows I'm honest. And I think, you know, he still likes me because he knows I'm not a liar. But in general, he said multiple things about Operation Warp Speed. He said it was like a military plan. And then he also said that it was giving us a good vaccine for the future at a new bioweapon attack is coming. And Trump's giving us the vaccine for later. So Trump is fighting the Great Reset by working with Bill Gates companies and giving us the Bill Gates vaccine to fight Bill Gates. That's what Vincent Kennedy does. Do you wonder why this guy stays anonymous? Do you want to know why he doesn't want to debate me in audio or video? One, he's probably afraid to show his face because of what he says, but also in general, I think he's afraid to lose a debate. The dude's a total liar. He thinks Trump is working with the Bill Gates vaccine to fight Bill Gates. Like, of course, you need to stay in your audience. You can't cross paths with somebody that doesn't lie. It's not going to work out very well. So you could figure out a million excuses to make. You can make up theories, but here we just read the legislation. I'm not going to tell you. I like Trump. I don't like Bill Gates. I'm not going to make up a theory that Trump's fighting Bill Gates because I read the legislation and he's funding Bill Gates' favorite company and rushing it through FDA trials. That's what happened. That's what it was. That's what I told people since May and June, July, August, September, October, November, November. These people make new excuses every month. It doesn't matter what they say because their audience will believe anything. It's a super secret plan to protect us from COVID-20. No, it's not. These people are such frauds. And I feel bad for any patriot that gets brainwashed by them because it sounds good. I could sit here and say, guys, but my reporting, and this is why a lot of people watch, it's based on things that are real. It's not a fake show. If we make theories about the future, it's based on evidence. And I show you that evidence so you can understand it for yourself. If you have no evidence and your evidence is piss poor and you brainwash millions of people into believing something that's not real, you're just a liar. You're just a bad reporter. It's like you're a bad influencer. It's just not quality stuff. Jordan said, anomalies sparking a movement. It's our job to get out there and do something instead of posting comments on our social media echo chambers. And even here's what I said for a while. Even if you don't want to go out, you're busy, you have a family, you know, what can you do? Trust me, just honestly, just have a good day and protect your family. That's fine. You don't have to do anything. But if you want to do something in the MAGA movement, hold these people accountable. Stop following influencers that just like, I'm following these people. They're like, hey, you know, every day they're like, it's a big boom coming today. It's a big day. It's like, these people are such liars. It's like, yeah, every day is a big day. I get it. Yeah, there's a lot of great things happening. But at the end of the day, these people are like wasting your time. They're just dragging you along and making you not pay attention to certain things. So I think, you know, if the MAGA movement, even if you don't have to go out on the streets, if the MAGA movement actually held Trump accountable, you would have done things. If the MAGA movement doesn't hold anyone accountable, they waited until December to start getting mad at the GOP. And I'm the bad guy. It's like, bro, I'm not saying it's too late, but you guys, we could have done this in April or May. Like, you waited till after the election and now you're mad at Mitch McConnell. You should have been pissed at him in April when he signed the most communist bill that's ever been signed into existence. Like, what part of that did not piss you off? You know, so yeah, I think the one thing we can do is hold our leaders accountable. And I'll say it a million times until people actually do it. It's that easy. It's like when there's enough backlash on certain things, we get the job done. If there's no backlash, if there's no pressure to do anything, why would they do it? They have no incentive to do anything. They have no incentive. You just think they have incentive. But when Trump's at meetings with big pharma, these people, that people, Trump has all this pressure from all these angles, and he has no pressure from we the people. So he sides with these people because there's all this pressure, and he knows I could do this and I could probably still win the election. I could do this and these people won't give a shit. So in the business meeting, you're not big pharma. You don't have that money. You're not surrounding Trump like the swamp, but you can surround him with the light and say, Trump, this is what we want. We know they want that. This is what we want. But people don't do that. They think it's bad to do that. They think I'm a bad guy for telling people to do that. They think if anybody says that, they're secretly working for China. No, this is how you get stuff done in politics. When we the people stand there and say, we know what they said. We know what they said. This is what we say. But we don't do that. We just make theories about what we want to happen. So that's the future. If any movement in MAGA or Republican Party or Patriot Party doesn't do that, I will have no part in it. No part in it whatsoever. I'll stop caring about politics whatsoever. I'll just talk about lifestyle. Maybe I'll talk about farming, sustainability. I'll still do reporting on what's going on, but I'll just be completely apolitical. I'll unregister from the Republican Party and I'm out. I'll still do good reporting. I'll still be the real deal. I'm not going to have faith in a movement that just doesn't do anything. I put, a lot of stuff into MAGA because MAGA was the outlet that was getting all this stuff done. This year, MAGA's not really getting anything done. And, when you try to get stuff done, they get mad at you. So it's like, how can I work with a movement that doesn't want to hear this stuff? And some people do. A lot of people do. When I go out to the, the curfew breakers stuff, like everybody gets it. Honestly, like a lot of people do. It's just these false leaders and these like social media influencers that just run you guys in circles. We have so much potential. We have so much power. We have so much and we're not using it. I want to use it. If we could use it, let's use it. If we're not going to use it, it's time to part ways. Someone said, OMG, why did Google recommend this? That's shocking. Maybe you just searched something and it popped up here. Someone said trader. Well, you spelled trader wrong. You spelled it like Trader Joe's, but it's not a trader. I believe in the Constitution. I'm going to say it again. I believe in the country. I believe in the Constitution. I believe in the First Amendment. I believe in the Second Amendment. I actually believe in capitalism. I actually believe in a free market. I actually believe in what conservatives pretend to believe in. So this is all I'm saying. If you guys are choosing the country, I'm on your team. To me, you're a traitor. I'm not saying you personally, but like if you sell out and sacrifice millions of small businesses, you don't care about mom and pop shops, you don't care about the economy, you let them implode the country, you let them install communism, you don't seem to even be able to protect your constitution at all or figure out it's not just the left. We have a massive, or at least a 5-4 real Republican, John Roberts doesn't count, Supreme Court. It's not just the left. That's what I'm saying. It's not traitor. You're a traitor. If you think small businesses dying is okay because you like Trump, you're a traitor. If you think Operation Warspeed is secretly a plan because you don't want to call out Trump, you're a traitor. You know, I'm not a traitor. I believe in the country. I believe in everything conservatives pretend to believe in. That's who I am. Everything that you guys see all your influencer friends post these little taglines for 10,000 retweets, I actually believe that. That's why I don't like these people, because they don't believe anything that they say. When I say the things that they believe, they take offense to it. What does that tell you? It's not a movement for me. If I believe in the things they pretend to believe in, and I stand my feet in the ground and say, let's protect these things that we say we believe in, and you say traitor, clearly this is not the movement for me. You get what I'm saying? What are you conserving? You're conserving ego, you're conserving cultism, you're conserving personality and political leaders you like over your country, your constitution, small businesses. What are you doing? There's millions of people like me as well. Obviously, there's millions of people who disagree, but it's like people like me are shocked. We're like, we thought this is what we were doing. I had no idea. Someone said your social media posts are pressure and incentive. Us followers making posts and chats, and even these super chats don't add to it. Our job is to keep the movement moving in the real world. No, we got it. We're on it. God bless you. Thank you. Someone said they're all traitors, FBI, GOP, Dems, etc. I mean, at a certain point, you just see not much happening, and the only things that seem to be happening are we're losing our freedom. We're losing our money. Like, we're getting locked up. I'm just reporting on it, folks. I'm gonna say this again. I wanted to just be sitting on a swing on a cruise, just having a good time, dancing with people that are 80 plus, pointing at the grandma saying, you get it. You're, Michael Jackson bad, playing in the background. No, you're bad, having a good time with the grandmas. That's what I wanted to do this year. I wanted Hillary to get locked up. Instead, I'm not on a cruise dancing with grandmas. I got locked up. I'm just reporting on it. I'm just like, listen, hey guys, this year did not go quite how I thought it would, and it didn't go how you thought it would. So I don't know, maybe let's get it back. I don't know. Let's take our country back. And it's like, anomaly, when you said you wanted to take the country back, it hurt my feelings because I think when Trump doesn't take the country back, he secretly will take it. It's like, how about we just take it back? No, that is not my movement. Okay. Because I don't want to live like this for the rest of my life. I don't even want to live like this for the rest of the week. Okay. If I had it my way, this wouldn't be happening, but we don't get it my way and we don't get it our way because Republicans are pussies. It's like just the thought of standing up to the Republican Party and Trump is like, whoa, that's a red flag. I mean, I was with you with the Mitch McConnell, but if you tell me what Operation Warspeed really is and the bipartisan communism bill, that hurts my feelings. I mean, why don't you just join the Democratic Party? Why don't you join the Democratic Party? I am not the communist. I read the Communist Manifesto. I know what this actually says. I've done some of the best reporting. Honestly, most Republicans don't know what they're talking about when they talk about communism. I know why it fails. It doesn't fail because it fails because it's a BS theory to begin with. But in general, I'm not a communist. I'm not a socialist. I don't like socialism. I don't like communism. I don't like it in a boat. I don't like it in a moat. I don't like it in a house. I don't like it with a blouse. I don't like it with yams, and I don't like it with green eggs and ham. I don't like socialism when the blue does it. I don't like socialism when red does it. I don't like socialism when Pelosi does it. I don't like socialism when McConnell does it. I don't like socialism when Biden does it. And I don't like socialism when Trump does it. So I don't like this stuff. If you like socialism and communism because your guy does it, Why don't you go to the left wing? You might as well be the left wing. The MAGA movement might as well be the Democratic Party. It's like, well, anomaly, when Trump signed the bills for the communism thing and the lockdowns, I mean, technically he had nothing to do with it. And I mean, yeah, I guess I am a holistic person and I don't agree with Operation Warp Speed, but what if I just pretend that Operation Warp Speed isn't Operation Warp Speed? Then I'll be okay with it. You join the left. I don't want to join the left. These people can do nothing for me. But when the right wing becomes the left, I'm going to say the right wing is the left. And then, oh, well, I mean, who told you to say that? China? No. Why? Someone said armchair quarterback. That's what you tell yourself when I tell you the truth, because you don't want to hear it. You say, well, Anomaly tells me the truth and everyone else lies to me, so he's an armchair quarterback. Yeah, I'm an armchair quarterback by working with the people who are making an entire database and a website for open business and small businesses to get their stuff. I'm working on it. I'll have it on my website in the next week or two. I'm an armchair quarterback by actually being in the streets. And to be honest, it's in California, but one of the only places in the country, thanks to Satina, who's here from Curfew Breakers, actually doing stuff, actually organizing, actually putting pressure on the mayors, and not just the Democrats, the Republicans, the do-nothing Republican mayors that just talk a big game and do nothing. So I'm not an armchair quarterback. I'm in the streets. I'm building websites to give people the information that Trump's not doing, McConnell's not doing, and you guys just make excuses for all the communism. So no, I'm not an armchair quarterback. I actually do stuff. But yeah, I also do reporting, and I do music, and I do big shows. I was at Sturgis, one of the biggest events of the entire year, the biggest event of the entire year, probably. And I performed there. So I do millions of stuff. I could just be a hip hop artist and scream MAGA and everybody would like it, but I don't want to do that. I actually want to protect the country. Okay. So I have enough things to do on my own where I could be an armchair quarterback, but I'm actually not. So it's like, well, when Anomaly says the thing I don't want him to say, I'll just try to say something mean to him because it's like, no. The TV continues to put everyone to sleep. Gen Z is being put to sleep with the phones. I was born in 91, never seen Americans stand up. Terrell, God bless you. It's a combo of everything, though. It's like the TV puts people to sleep, but social media puts people to sleep. And this is what I learned. I remember when I watched Alex Jones when I was like 19. I remember I stopped watching him for like 5-10 years. Like I never saw his video because he started selling so many pills. And this was even Bill Cooper's criticism of Alex, was like, he was too loose with it. So he would say certain things that didn't happen. He got too loose. And that's when I kind of realized, this was years ago, where it's like the media is really bad. But just because the media is bad doesn't mean you could trust everyone on the internet. Like there's certain people on the internet that people are obsessed with. These people are con artists. Like I could tell immediately, just especially myself, because I do so much reporting myself. So like I'll call it like I see it. Like these people are great. These people are really good at their job. But other people are really not. And I see them and I'm like, people trust them just because they're talking about the Democrats. Like, ooh, the Democrats are bad and the deep state's bad. That's true. But that doesn't mean you're good at what you do. So these people, like they make a career off of just talking about, the media and then becoming the media, doing the same thing that the media is doing the same deception, the same brain scrambling. And that's a lot of these movements. I think the Q movement, it started out good. It got people inspired. It got liberals to conservatives. It got people really deep diving and understanding like the real deeper thing, deeper than Fox News. I think it started out great. And then it became more con than a pro when people lost their mind. They didn't know what to believe anymore. They turned it into a religion. They make up theories about everything when what they don't want to happen happens. And now it's like 8 months into communism and these people are just completely docile because, there's a few con artists, anonymous people on Twitter who tell them that, Operation Warp Speed is a secret plan to protect them from a new virus in 3 years when they have no evidence or proof that that's happening because it's not true. If you're anti-Bill Gates like these people, why would putting out he's not afraid of Moderna. He funded it. So Trump is funding the same companies. These theories are so obviously fake. It's like embarrassing. Like anybody with an IQ over 10 who isn't completely emotional could be like, that makes no sense. I'm into conspiracies, but that's just like really dumb. But that's all they do. So it's like at a certain point, it is the TV, but it's also social media. It's also influencers. And I think someone said Alex has a good heart. I think so. I think he's like, I think he does, but in general, I'm just saying, like, I see it on the internet where people are, they think it's so much better because it's not the TV, but it's just like a new generation of people capitalizing on people's, wants and desires. Do I follow Steve Diassi? No, I don't know much about him. No, I just don't know that much. Someone said it got people believing in God. How little did you know? No, it took it got some people believe in God, and it got some Christians to worship a false prophet. So some people who didn't believe in God believed in God because of Q. Other people that believe in God don't believe the Bible anymore. They don't even believe the scripture. They combine scripture with false theories about things that aren't happening, combined with real theories. It's scrambled the minds of just as many Christians as it's inspired. So it's become a pro and a con. I mean, it's all good. Believe what you want to believe, but someone said Newsmax feeds lies and discontent for money. I don't have a television, so I don't know. I know that they were interested in giving me a channel, but I haven't heard much from them. They blew up after the election, so I don't know. We haven't really talked in a while. Someone said prison gets people to believe in God. That's real. That is real. Prison probably makes more Christians than anything. Someone said we are getting to the point where we need something to happen. Yeah, Mikey, I agree with you. Something definitely needs to give. But here's what I'm thinking. Like, if Trump's not doing it, then people have to do it. If people aren't going to do it, we're eventually just going to hit revelation times. If you read Revelations, they talk about one world government. This was not created by Q or Alex Jones. This was in the Bible. This was written for thousands of years about a one world government. So I feel like I thought Trump was going to really do it. He didn't really do it. Unless he does it, he's got a few months or maybe a few years. If he does it, great. If he doesn't, then people have to do it. If people like, and what I'm seeing now, I'm not trying to be mean or doom and gloom, but I don't see, I'm trying to inspire people to like actually care, but people want to fight me on it a lot, which is fine. But at that point, I'm starting to think like, yeah, we're going to head towards revelation times, because the two people that were actually supposed to fight for this country turned out to fall short. We, the people, and Trump. And if that happens, then, it does seem like it's going to get to those times. Someone said everything's matching up with scripture. Yeah, I read Revelation the other day. It's like Christians have always thought revelation is coming. It's like, is it coming? Is it coming? I think I can't predict when it's coming, but I don't think it's ever been as close as right now. I would say it's very shockingly close. It seems that way. Danny said hospitals are so overrun with COVID patients that we have Mass General choreographing dances at St. Vincent's Hospital. Yeah, I hear you. I want to see this. Someone said, what do you think about Alex Jones ghosting Millie Weaver when she needed him? Here's what I'll say about that. I'm gonna be honest, because I've met Millie at one protest or something. She seems nice. I've talked to Alex with Ali, my buddy Ali. We did a live stream. I like Alex. I like Millie. They're nice people. My best guess, if you really want to know what I think about what happened, and I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, I don't know these people. It's not my drama. It's not my gossip. But as a consumer who watched this all happen, if you want to know what I think that Millie started getting in with a lot of these Q people. And I think a lot of the Q people hate Alex Jones. And the Q people and Alex, they both have their pros and cons. But, Millie would be nothing without Alex Jones. I mean, InfoWars helped Millie start a career, and Millie did her own thing too. But I think that personally, I think she probably turned, and I don't know this for sure, but I think she was like turning against InfoWars and Alex, and then Alex just cut her off because she was like starting to work with people who were working against them. So I think, I don't know that for sure, but that's the hint I got, because I listened to Millie, I saw what they said. I think she started hanging out with people who didn't like InfoWars, and she became like a full-blown Q person. So I think she went from being like an InfoWars host to like a Q. And I've seen it. And the reason I think that is I've seen it happen to me. I've seen friends that I know in person. I'm not talking about like, people on the internet. I'm talking about friends I've known for years turned on me because I said early on the lockdowns were bad, and they turned on me because they like QAnon. I've had girls that I've known freak out at me because I thought certain theories that were never true, I said they weren't true. Now it's like, it's not the full picture, but I'm like, that I just don't believe that because I don't have to believe it. I go off of evidence, and the Q people are too loose with their theories. Some are real, some are not. To me, they're just not really accurate with it. And this is what they do. If you question some of their side theories, they freak out at you. So I think, that's what I think happened with Alex. I think she started hanging out with these Q people that freak out at anybody who don't agree with every lie that they say or every fake theory that they make. And Alex, probably for self-preservation, said, "You're gone," because she was like turning against the network. That's what I'm guessing happened, because I've seen it happen. Some people follow it. I have friends who follow it and they're totally fine, but some people like totally lose their minds. Like the guy I'm debating with on Twitter, who won't debate me with audio or video chat, Vincent Kennedy, he's literally telling people that the vaccine that Trump is pushing to the market, which, by the way, it's Pfizer and Moderna. Those are the two mRNA vaccines. Moderna is not a company that's like threatening Bill Gates. It's a Bill Gates backed company. He's convincing his audience that the Moderna vaccine is secretly going to save people from bio attacks in the future. No evidence, no proof. All the evidence and proof says that makes no sense. It does make no sense. I think deep down, this guy knows it makes no sense, but he has a Q anonymous Twitter account, and he tells all the people that that's what it means. And they all believe him because it sounds really good to believe it. A lot of these people are con artists, and they lose their mind over this movement. Some people don't, and some people do. It's like, I know people that I've met that are just full-blown brainwashed maniacs now, and you can't even have a conversation with any. It's like talking to a liberal. I'm not questioning all these other things. They strum in it. I know human trafficking is real. If you sat me down with somebody in the movement, we'd probably agree on a lot of stuff, a lot of the problems, but they have these gaping blind spots. And when things don't happen the way they want them to happen, they've taught themselves that the best way to cope with it is to just make any theory that you want. Doesn't matter how true it is, how much evidence or not. Just say what you want to happen, tell everybody, and lash out at everybody who questions you. And it's like, it's really weird. And it's really sad because it's really kneecapped the Patriot movement. In some ways, it really gave the Trump movement a boom. And then recently, I feel like it just crashed and everybody's just lost in the sauce. Someone says Q is globalist. I don't know who it is, but I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to question who the message poster is. I have no idea what they mean or what their intentions are. But the things that they're priming people for, they basically got them okay with martial law. They got them okay with blackouts and days of darkness, which could also mean lockdowns. And they're so loose with it that no one knows what to believe. So when the lockdowns happen, millions of Q followers thought the lockdowns were good. They weren't good. Obviously, this was the enemy attacking. But the Q people were all pissed at me, not all of them, but a lot, because Q says days of darkness are coming. So he's prepping you for blackouts or lockdowns. And then when blackouts and lockdowns come, you just assume it's part of the plan. So it's like human trafficking is real, but that doesn't mean that lockdowns are good. These people can't process that in the game of chess, there's battles and you win and lose some. They think they win everything. Everything's a win. It's like, so what they're really doing is, everything's a win when you believe in the Lord, but they're taking the Bible and mixing it with QAnon and Christianity. So now you have Christians, instead of reading Revelation and reading, other books, they're reading Q, and they think Q is part of their religion. It's like, it's not part of your religion. Revelation is revelation. And if you read Revelation, it doesn't like false prophets. Someone said, who threatened you? No one. I'm speaking facts now. Say something of value. Don't just say a straw man argument or a thing. I'm just saying in general, it doesn't like false prophets. So it's a movement that has become so vague that no one knows what to believe, but it's primed people to think that lockdowns were good. Someone said, who threatened you? No one threatened me. I'm just saying people were pissed at me because I knew early on that the lockdowns were bad. I mean, everyone in reality knew lockdowns, this is not ideal. No matter what you thought about the virus, like, yeah, this is really scary. This is really weird. I wasn't scared, but it was weird. It was, someone said false idols. That's exactly what it is. So you had the Q people, a lot of them thought the lockdown was good. And these are the things that they say to me. The same comment. Who paid you to say that? No one. I'm a truther. You're a liar. So who paid me to tell the truth? No one. Who brainwashed you to tell the lie? Why did you think the lockdowns were good? Why did you trust Barr? Right? Why did you trust Durham? Why did you trust Sessions? Because you mixed Christianity with a fake message board poster who told you 70% truth and 30% lies, mixed it up with Christianities, and now you have a bunch of brain scrambled MAGA people who don't know what to believe. They'll follow a con artist who's anonymous. You don't even know who this guy is because he won't have a video or audio chat with me. You get what I'm saying? This is one of the biggest guys on Twitter. He's telling people and getting, hundreds of thousands of retweets saying the vaccine that Trump is pushing is secretly just a way to fight a thing in the future. So he's now convincing you the vaccine that Trump is pushing that's funded by Bill Gates is really there to inject you with to, fight a thing in the future. And then in the same breath, he says that it's a military operation. And then he says that his audience doesn't want to get the vaccine. So he says he's not responsible because his audience doesn't want to get the vaccine. Yet he says the vaccine is secretly a good thing to fight a thing in the future, which is kind of telling people that it's a good thing to get at a certain point. And then saying it's not either of those things. It's a military operation to hold them accountable. This guy's a fraud. He said 3 different theories. None of them are the same. This is what they do. They just say anything and everything and nothing at the same time. So if it happens, I'm right. If it doesn't happen, I'm wrong. They're con artists, folks. Who paid me? Who threatened? No one. They're con artists. And people believe this stuff because apparently people are not that bright or they're so emotionally attached to what they want to happen that they'll believe anything. It's like a car salesman. You can sell someone a broken car that has no wheels on it and be like, this thing will go 100 miles an hour. I don't know. Really dumb people buy it. Really emotional people maybe just, hear the pitch and not even look at the car or something, but it's pretty obvious. Like who paid? No one. I'll blow any of these people out of the water in a debate, any of them out of the water. All they can do is sit anonymously on Twitter and just say things that don't make sense. That's all they can do. Danielle said, you're still on? Right on. What are you talking about today? Let me listen. Well, now I'm talking about what you said. We'll see. Someone said, what are you supposed to do when you're screwed? Well, I mean, this whole year's been a screw. I mean, this country got screwed. I'm not trying to be mean, but this year, I feel like we kind of got screwed. What do you do when you get screwed? I don't know. I moved to an area that wasn't so shitty. That's what I did. I don't know. What am I going to do next year? I don't know. You cope with what's happening and you make a move. If you're in the middle of Philadelphia and you've come to the conclusion that you don't want to be in the middle of Philadelphia because cities are not going to be the same way that they were, then if you decide it's right for you and your family and you have the right finances and the right plan, then that's the plan. Trust the plan. That's the plan. It's not to just sit there and wait for Trump to wipe your butt. It's like, what do you do when 2020 happens? I wish I could sit here and tell you that this year didn't happen. That's what they tell you. This isn't even happening. No, it did happen. So what do you do? I don't know. What do you do? The first sign is to acknowledge what's happening. And the second one is then you do what's right. I'm not a life coach. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. I don't know. You might want to stay in the city and fight for your rights. You might want to, it might be the right move to stay in the city. I don't know. I don't know most of you. I don't know what your life is. And even if I knew what your life is, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I think you should make that decision. But when there's something going on, I think it's smart. Even early on in March, I told people before the lockdowns, I was like, this is probably going to happen. I mean, I could just tell based on other countries and what they were talking about. I'm like, go get some food. That's what I told people. I said, don't be scared, be prepared. I know they're saying not to get food, but it's not a bad idea to have extra food because they're going to close things down. And I said that a week before they closed anything down. And my audience went and got food. A lot of people got food. And so many people messaged me and they said, Anomaly, thank you so much. I got a lot of food when you said that something might happen. And, I'm really glad because it was like a mess to go to the, grocery store. A lot of things weren't there and it was just creepy. So she was like, I saved a lot of time and I had a lot of That's a message I like to get. I didn't scare people. I didn't say everyone's going to die. But if I told people the country is not going to get locked down, it's secretly Trump's going to swoop in and give you delivery groceries. It's like, no, that's not true. Like, that's not hope. That's lying to people. That's making them complacent and leaving them as sheep for the slaughter. So, I'm very grateful that I had the foresight to say that. And I didn't tell people I'm 100% sure, because it's impossible to be. But I said, this looks like it's going to happen. I think they're going to shut down the country. I think it's going to be harder to travel. I think there might be some sort of weird martial law situation. This is before the lockdown. I was like, I think it would be smart. I'm not going to tell people what to do, but I think it'd be smart to just be prepared. Don't be scared, be prepared. Get some food, not a bad idea. And people did. And I think it was not a bad idea. And same with this next year. What do we do? I don't know. Someone said people are scared. For sure, people are scared, but I don't want people to be scared. But if something's happening, it's happening. I don't know. I'm not scared, but it's like, it's disappointing. This year was disappointing. This election was disappointing. March was a disappointing month. I watched the election, that whole shift from Trump to Biden. It was all very disappointing, but it happened. And, the next day or 2 days later, it has been kind of a buzzkill since then. It's been a buzzkill from November to December. This whole month's been out of whack. Daylight savings changed. Trump lost. This whole month has not been ideal. But it is what it is. At a certain point, we're going to have a plan. We're going to have to do something. So, someone said, I'm going to read this comment real quick. Cameron said, dude, Patriot Party's not MAGA. It's not Q. We elected Trump because he was a tool for the truthers to drain the swamp. As Trump is gone, the truthers will still demand truth. Well, Cameron, I talked about, I'm not going to repeat myself, but it's not really true. I'm not trying to be mean, but there's a lot of truthers out there. There's a lot of people seeking what's real. There's a lot of people that are brainwashed. There's a lot of truthers that don't know the truth anymore. There's a lot of MAGA that make excuses as opposed to actually doing something. And there's a lot of people in the queue who they call themselves truthers, but they scramble their brain because they think just because they're not the mainstream media and because they're fighting human trafficking, that they don't need to be accurate at all. They don't need to be pinpoint accurate, which they should be. Because if you're talking about human trafficking, it's the same thing about talking about racism. If everything's racist, nothing's racist. So I've seen certain people, they're just too sloppy with their dot connecting. Some of it's real, some of it's not. It's the same thing like with Operation Warspeed. Is this guy a truther because he tells people 3 different things? He tells people not to get the vaccine. Then he tells people that it's actually a secret thing that's going to protect us in the future. And then under the same breath, he says it's a bad thing that Trump's going to crack the code on. That's 3 different theories. How is that a truther? That's a liar. That's a scramble up your brain, take advantage of kind patriots who are looking for the truth and getting their brain scrambled by a bunch of con artists. So, I'm not being rude, but it's like the Patriot Party is not going to be truthers. It's going to be a bunch of like half-baked Zionist Trump supporters who have no idea what's going on in the power structure, and just, sheep herd MAGA right back into the same sort of, MAGA movement that failed this year as far as, protecting our freedoms. We need, something bigger than that. No offense, but K9 said, who do you admire as far as leadership right now? Are you seeing good people do good things? Thanks, K9 Therapy. In general, I'm not trying to be a downer, but yeah, I don't really see that much. That's why the whole reason I do reporting is because I was just shockingly unimpressed by everyone else. I'm not trying to be rude, but I wouldn't even be here if people actually knew how to do reporting. So I'm not a reporter. I wasn't supposed to be a reporter. I was supposed to be a hip hop artist. So I didn't even mean to do this. As far as leaders, I'll give a compliment to Ali. He's focusing on the election. He's not really focusing on the lockdowns and stuff. But I like how hard he's fighting. People have a lot to say with Ali. I've always liked him. He's controversial. He'll piss people off sometimes. He's never pissed me off because it is what it is. Some things we agree on, some things we don't. But I like how hard he's fighting. So if you're going to fight for the election, he started a whole Stop the Steal movement almost by himself. He had maybe a few other people. To me, that's a real fight. We're fighting for different things currently, but I respect the type of fight that he has. He has that type of energy. Like, I will not be denied. I am not going to stop. Stuff like that is important, So it's like with the lockdowns, we need that same type of energy as the Stop the Steal. Like, no, we're not going to back down. we're going to organize. We're going to do certain stuff. But I think, you know, as far as in the Republican Party, I just don't see it. I don't see it. Trump was the guy. Trump was that guy. You know, for 3 years, he was killing it. This last year, he just turned into a total different person. I don't know why or what. And I mean, if he works for another 4 years, that's great. But I just don't see my agenda and his agenda just kind of went different paths this year. Like the first 3 years, what Trump wanted to do and what I wanted to do, it was almost identical. We had disagreements, but I'm not a baby. It's like whatever. This year, the country went full-blown communist and Operation Warspeed, and I'm radically against that. And honestly, you know, in 2016, a lot of people voted for Trump because of his stance on medical tyranny. Trump, if you read his old tweets about vaccines, Trump knows exactly what's going on, and he's always cared about it. So millions of holistic mothers are looking up to Trump to be the guy to take on Big Pharma. And he didn't take on Big Pharma. He funded them and pumped out this vaccine. So it's like, I'm not trying to be mean, but like our paths just don't really mesh anymore. I would love them to, but apparently I'm the bad guy in the MAGA movement now because I see all this stuff. No one wants to report on it. So it's like, I thought this was a movement of medical freedom. Now it's a movement of lock you in your house, rush the vaccine, and then maybe or maybe not, Fauci will let you free next year. We'll let him decide. It's like, that's not a movement for me. So now I'm 100% committed to 100% freedom. And if that's what Trump wants to do, that's what he wants to do. I haven't seen it. And who do I see that's doing it? No one. I don't see McConnell. I don't see Jim Jordan. I don't even see Rand Paul. I see no one in the Republican Party doing it. That's why I'm doing it. So I wish I saw some sort of political leader that was this excited about freedom, but I just don't see it. Sean Stryker said, what's up, Sean? He said, hi, Anomaly. Following since I like Trump debuted on IW, are you going to keep doing interviews and panels or keep your current format? That's a good question. On Christmas, I have a lot of thinking to do. One, I'm almost finished with my book, which I'm excited about. It's not like a biography or anything. It's more like helping people understand how they steal our free speech, which if it goes well enough, it'll probably get banned on Amazon. But in general, you know, I'm thinking about how to reformat this year. I moved, I got out of Los Angeles, I escaped and got out of a really shitty place. So now I got to figure out which way I want to go. I got to, you know, I had a few, Newsmax was talking about maybe giving me a TV show. The magazine Penthouse wanted me to be an editor. I don't check my emails that much anymore, so I'm not even sure if they're still hitting me up or not. I got to check it. I'm like thousands of this. So to make a long story short, I'm not sure. I always just work and I do stuff and I have new songs and stuff coming out, but I have to really figure out what I want to do next year. Do I want to do a podcast or this? You know, I'm not really sure, but I'm trying to partner with the right people. And one of my best friends, from when I was younger, he's been my best friend since like, I don't know, maybe like 6th, 7th grade. I'm going to probably employ him because I have no employees. I do everything myself, answer every email, do every customer service. It's all me. I'm exhausted. And then I do 5-hour debates, 4-hour debates. I go and do these speaking stuff. I'm tired. So I got to figure out which way to go. I'm going to work with my friend. I'm going to get some help. And then hopefully with his help as like assistance, I can really figure out what to do. But I would love to do like a sit down podcast. There's so many things I'd like to do. I just don't know. I don't know how to balance it all. I'll give you an example. I have a song with Trapped, the band Trapped. It's a new one's coming out. I just recorded it. It's really good. It's really, so I'm recording stuff. I'm editing stuff. I'm doing live events. I'm doing this. I do live streams. I'm writing a book. I've never been this tangled. And even this year is pissing me off because I'm usually very calm. I hate this freedom. Like I'm the type of person, you guys might not know me just through videos. I'm very nice, but I do not like to be fucked with. Excuse my language. So if you fuck with me or you take something important from me, threaten my life, like I'm not a pussy. So I'm a chill guy. I'm like Bob Ross. That's why I made the song Bob Ross. I'm chill, but I'm really not chill. I'm not like, oh, he's chill, so I could just do bad things to him. Like, no, like you cross a line, it's not going to go well for you. So this year they crossed the line, you know? So I've been really annoyed at them crossing the line on the country, and I feel a big fight in me. But also I'm just got 50 million things going on. I don't know how to manage it all. I'm like, I could do all this stuff, but then I don't know that many people that do as much work as me, you know, because it's almost not possible to do so much stuff. Like Tim Pool has a team. I'll have to get a team or I'll do this, but long story short, I'll figure it out. I'm going to think about it on December. maybe in the comment section, let me know what you guys think. What would you like to see me do? How about that? Because I think enough for myself. So let me what would you guys like to see? A podcast, more music, less music, the same thing I'm doing, better setup. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll read some of the comments, because I really don't know. Someone said OnlyFans. I don't know about that. Someone said Tulsi Gabbard. You want me to do Tulsi Gabbard? No, I'm just kidding. Hot lesbians. All right, you guys are not serious. Music, more music. Biblical stuff. Let's see. Rock music. Drag queen story hour. Stop. Podcasts, video shows. Do Q drops. I want to know who this guy is. They need to unmask Q. Who is this guy? The gig's gone on long enough. We need to see who it is. Someone said start a cult, flat earth. All right, you guys are funny. Someone said podcast. I feel the same. Podcast and live stream. I would like to see you try Newsmax. I got to check my email. I don't know if they still want to work with me or not, but I think they got really busy. When we were doing talks about a deal, first of all, what they were offering was not that great, but also their company blew up like times 7. So I feel like they're very busy, but I don't know. Someone said end times, bro. Open a strip club for the blind, bro. You're wild. Take a vacation. This is what's really annoying too. There's 2 things that I would do to relax. If you want to be honest, I would take a cruise, because when I'm on a cruise or I'm on vacation, I could turn off my phone for a week. I love cruises. They ruin cruises. And I also get massages. When I get a massage, I close my eyes for an hour and I'm just chilling. I would do that quite often. One, I have a really bad back. And also it's a great way to just like not be on your phone for a while. So they've taken away almost everything that I do to vacate. They've taken away my vacation. They've taken away my physical therapy. They've taken away my gym. It's like, it's pissing me off. And here's the thing. It's like, yeah, I'm definitely should take a vacation and calm down, but I feel like I shouldn't calm down at the same time. Like this year, I've done some of my best reporting and I've gotten rewarded for it. I'm very grateful, where I had actually a good year financially, but I didn't do it because I needed money. I did it because it was crunch time for America. So, I haven't really talked a big game, but a lot of people talk a big game. So when crunch time came for America, people know who followed me in March and April and May and June and July and August and September and October. When it came time to be there for people and it came time to do the real reporting, I was there. I was there cranking out videos all the time. And a lot of people weren't. So I feel like there needs to be someone. I don't want to take a vacation because, first of all, it's hard to even do, but also it's like, I want my freedom back. I feel like if this is a war, I can't take a vacation in the middle of a war. I want my First Amendment back. I want the mask mandate over. I want the lockdowns over. I want it all gone. I've wanted it gone since March. And you can follow my reporting. While everybody was talking about secret Guantanamo ships, look at what I was talking about from very early on. You could find a video from March. It still makes the same sense that it made back then, because I'm not lying. Someone said we're in crunch time more so now than ever. No question. We're absolutely in crunch time. So I feel obliged to not take a vacation. I would love to I got exercise today, but I would love to, like, they've closed down almost everything here. It's such a nightmare. But someone said we need to take the virus seriously. We need to take freedom seriously, folks. You can't hide. Here's the point that I'm going to get. And I've said this already. I don't want to repeat myself, but if you look at mask mandates and you look at lockdowns don't work. There is no country doing worse without a lockdown. Lockdowns don't help. So it's like taking the virus seriously is taking care of yourself. Okay. Washing your hands. That's taking the virus seriously. Taking the virus seriously is not a synonym for a mask mandate. That's wrong. It's not a synonym for a lockdown. They've convinced you that the devil's work is saving yourself. It's the most evil plan. You're doing sick, evil stuff that is in no way, shape, or form stopping the virus. Putting on a reusable mask that you put on and down and take off. When you take off your mask on an airplane and you put it down to eat and you put it back on, that's disgusting. You're putting, unless you fully clean it and know how to not touch it, most people are wearing dirty masks. Most people are locking down. You could look at the spread rate in restaurants, outdoor, indoor dining. They're bullshitting all of this. You can't hide from a coronavirus. A mask is not going to protect you from all of a coronavirus. This whole thing is a lie. So us taking the virus seriously has nothing to do with imploding the whole country. They know exactly what they're doing, guys. The people who are orchestrating this, they don't think there should be this many people on the planet. They want less people on the planet. How do you get less people on the planet? Implode everything. They're imploding everything. And the Great Reset is going to involve less people because they've talked about it for years. They don't want you to even be here. So it's like, take the virus seriously by letting the people who want less people on the planet make there less people on the planet. They're not trying to save your life, guys. They're saving your lives with abortions. That's what they're doing. Bill Gates goes to Africa and gives people vaccines and abortions because he says by helping people live longer, you're actually cutting the population growth. How does he do it? With abortions. Someone said the Georgia Guidestones. Yeah, I have a video about the Georgia Guidestones back in like May or April or something. Very fascinating. Georgia Guidestones, very real. Some billionaire or millionaire wrote their plan. I mean, you could read the plan. They want, what is it, under 700 million people or something? They want to wipe off billions of people on the planet, and they believe it so strongly. They erected a huge stone in Georgia that said exactly what they want to do. It's the same agenda of Ted Turner. It's the same agenda of Bill Gates. It goes hand in hand with the climate change and COVID agenda. They're acting on it, but it's not to scare people. It's just like they wrote it in a stone. You can't make this stuff up. Look up the Georgia Guidestones. They wrote their plan in stone. 500 million. Yeah, that's shocking. Someone said if you're an OC, it's open. Here's what I'm going to say, though. I was at curfew breakers in Huntington Beach. It's not fully open. And this is my problem. And I've been saying it, and people love it. 100% capacity. If you go to Huntington Beach at 11 o'clock, everything's shut down. It's not open. If you go to Main Street in Huntington Beach at 9 o'clock, you have places eating outdoors. It doesn't even make sense. You're not supposed to eat outdoors, and they're eating outdoors, but not indoors. They're already breaking the rule outdoors, and they just move their indoor seats outdoors. It's a total joke, even in Huntington Beach. Let people indoors. If you want to do indoors and outdoors and make more money, do that too. But it's not open. OC is not open. The sheriff said it's open. The mayors say they don't agree with it, but they all do nothing. And the business owners just comply, and then the police turn on the people. Even the Huntington Beach police, they were saying, don't have this. You guys got to stand there. Every week we do curfew breakers, we lose less freedom. This is the problem I'm talking about. Even in certain red states, some of them are open, but in the blue cities, they don't really listen. It's half in, half out. You go to the mall, there's certain places where people are sending me videos in the country. People are eating on the floor, which is disgusting and dirty. They're eating on the floor because they've taken away the tables. This is sick. So if you're the president, I don't care if you can't legislative do it. You should be leading the country. Trump is supposed to be the leader of the country. He's doing nothing for the lockdowns, nothing. He should be out doing speeches saying it's bullshit that you're eating on the floor. Let's get our tables back. It's bullshit that you have to eat outside. Let's go inside. If he's the leader of the world, he should be saying this. He's not saying it, guys. He's never said it. He's maybe said a few tweets about it, but he's also said the lockdown saved millions of lives. He's also said Operation Warspeed is the greatest thing ever. He's also said you shouldn't open up, Georgia. You should stay locked down to my guidance. He's really done nothing this year. He's been a total deep state guy. I don't want to think this. I like the guy, but it's like only in your head is he fighting for your freedom. Where's the leader? What leaders do you like? None of them. None of them. That's why I'm even here, or else I would take a nap and you'd never see my face again. I would just work on music. So It's like, you can't be the leader of the free world when your country is being destroyed. People are being psychologically abused. Millions of small businesses are being killed, and you're not saying anything about it. And the Supreme Court, that's Republicans, not doing anything about it. And no conservative influencers are saying or doing anything about it. This is a joke. That's why I'm here for 3 hours, because this is a joke. And people want to hear this because the amount of people that follow me, you think that what I'm saying is fringe? Do you know how many millions of people are suffering because of this psychologically, mentally? Yeah, a lot of Trump supporters are so into Trump and stuff, but for the most part, what I'm saying is really popular. And when they're looking for help, they're not going to look to MAGA, who laughs at their grave and says, oh, just get over it, we're going to win the election. Then they come to me. They're not going to go to the Q people who say, it's fine that you lost your family business because, just trust the plan. They don't feel good with that, so they come to me. So you get what I'm saying? What I'm doing is going to be the anti-lockdown movement is going to be the biggest movement of 2021. If Trump wants to champion the anti-lockdown movement, that's great. If the Republican Party wants to champion the full end to the lockdowns, that's great. If they don't, I'm not cucking to them like everybody else. I'm not bowing to them. They're not my God. They're not my religion. They're not my idol. I don't worship idols. If they're more interested in rushing Moderna than they are with vocally leading their people to say enough is enough, then I want no part of them anymore. Do I know anything about the Chinese troops? I've heard about it, but I didn't look that much into it. I mean, we're definitely at a vulnerable point. Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure. I didn't fully look into that stuff, but I heard about it. Someone said, so you're proving Brian's point then? I don't want to harp on this all the time because it's in the past, but if you're talking about our debate, me and Brian from, High Impact Flicks or whatever, we agree on a lot of stuff. The whole debate came when he wouldn't drop it about voting. It's like, I get that he doesn't vote. That's fine. But he thinks that you're evil if you vote, where it's like, bro, the solution isn't going to be to vote or not to vote. At a certain point, the solution is going to be when we, the people, rise. So that we agreed on all that the whole time. He just decided to make the 3-hour debate just about voting, which was counterproductive and didn't work out well for him because he tried to take the moral high ground, and it doesn't work out when you don't hold yourself to the same standards. But I don't want to talk about that. It's fine. I think Brian is a nice guy. I think he means well. I just, we always agreed on that. We just never got to talk about it that much. All right, let me see. I'm going to read this. Jamie Valentino said, thank you, Jamie, on Facebook. He said, right on, we need a real bottoms-up movement, election fraud, lockdown masks, and vaccine mandates coming next. Time for the stand up against the deep state government. And here's the thing that I've been saying about Operation Warspeed for a while, and I just want to repeat it real quick. Everybody who fought me all year and said Trump doesn't want to make it mandatory, two things. First of all, if he doesn't end up winning the election, he just lobbed up Joe Biden to dunk this in our face. So it doesn't matter what Trump said. But also, even if he's in office, he doesn't seem to be able to control the airlines. He doesn't seem to be able to control corporations. There's corporations in all 50 states doing mask mandates right now. In South Dakota, thousands of workers are being forced to wear masks, even in Texas, even across the airlines. So who cares that Trump said it's not mandatory? He lobbed them up, and they're going to dunk it in our face. And once again, him and the Republican Party are going to do nothing. So it's like, the GOP and the MAGA movement can't be the movement of excuses and fake theories. Like, the dumbest thing I've heard all year, and I've heard it a million times, is he doesn't want to make the vaccine mandatory. He doesn't want to make the mask mandatory, but it's mandatory across all 50 states in certain areas. Even in Florida, certain corporations will fire you, and DeSantis or Trump doesn't seem to have any influence over them. So that's the truth. That's real. This is reality. People just want to make excuses. So we need anti-lockdown movement, complete freedom movement. There is no complete freedom movement right now. There's a communist movement on the left and a socialist communist movement on the right. That's what the Trump movement is now. It's a communist socialist movement. Everyone just has this idea that hopefully he'll be able to stop it. But this year he hasn't. He's been a socialist. That's what happened. That's if you look up communism in general, a communist government has, like communist China, you could shut down and make any business do what you want to do. That's what Trump did this year. He shut the country down and he made certain companies create, ventilators, which is a terrible mistake among 20 that he's made this year. But in general, he basically got the deal he wanted for the US government because he forced them to make them for a price they didn't even want to make it. He used that as leverage, saying, I could technically use an executive order and force you to make ventilators for this price anyway. So agree with me. He strong-handed US companies. They hung this over Boeing's head and said, we'll bail you out, Boeing, but only if the government owns you. This was evil, folks. This was evil that the Trump administration did. So they shut down Boeing and then give them the option. Either we're going to give you the money we just stole from you, or we take ownership. This is full-blown communism this year. So you get what I'm saying? It's like, you can like Trump, but if you ignore that this is a communist movement now, why would it stop? No one has a problem with it, or very few people have a problem with it. They're like, anomaly, if Trump doesn't win, we're going to get communism. We got communism. He's fighting communism. No, he's not. Maybe in the future, one day, maybe he can, but right now, he's not. Someone said that was before Trump knew the gravity. You love making excuses for the guy. He's done nothing. He's doing nothing. So you deserve communism. You deserve McConnell, you deserve Trump, you deserve communism, you deserve Operation Warspeed, you deserve medical tyranny, you deserve lockdowns till 2022, you moved the goalpost, you did the vaccine for them, and then they said, even with the vaccine, you're still not free. You deserve it. Do you know why? Because you make excuses for it. I don't deserve it. Millions of people who agree with me don't deserve it, but you deserve it. You deserve all of this. You deserve communism, because it comes and you're like, well, when he did it at the time, he didn't know he did it. It's like, whatever you need to tell yourself to just keep allowing this bullshit to happen. But we're not going to allow this to happen anymore, folks. And if you're on my team, we'll end it. If you're not, I don't care. Get out of my way. Stop making excuses for communism. This is so pathetic. It's insane. It's like, well, when he did the communism, he knew what he was doing. He was strong-handing companies to build ventilators. He knew exactly what he was doing. Sean Stryker said, anomaly, you may have some provocateurs in your comment chat stream. Let them know when violence plays in Global's plans. There are more lawful tools for the U.S. Well, you could let them know. But in general, it's nuts. This is why I'm officially saying, it's like, if this is the party of freedom, if this is the party of the Constitution, if this is the party of demanding the Constitution, if this is the party for not giving any excuses for losing the Constitution, I'm in this party. If this is the party for excuses, I want no part in the Republican Party. I want no part in the MAGA movement. I want no part in the Patriot movement. I have no part in whatever delusional fake scheme that the Q people have in mind for 2021. I want no part in it. I'll completely be apolitical whatsoever. So that's for you guys to figure out. Are we the party of freedom? Are we the party of no excuses? Are we the party of the Constitution? Or are we the party of just making excuses for communism because we like Trump so much? We like Trump so much he doesn't know. I want no part in this crap, guys. So please go find some other channel that lies to you, that makes you feel good about it. It's not going to be me. I don't want any part in this. None. Please go find the excuse makers and make a team of professional excuse makers. Maybe you could get big donor money. Maybe Sheldon Adelson will give you money. I bet he'll give you $50 million so you could do stuff for Israel and pass bills to say you're not allowed to say you're doing it. I want no part in it, okay? I want freedom. I want the First Amendment. I want the Constitution, okay? I don't want a party of excuses anymore. If that's what it is, I'm done. I've been done. Someone said they're hijacking our country. Yes, all year. And we need to stop making excuses. Someone said we need you and others to run for office. Not even office, because if people are awake enough, these politicians can't get away with it. Like, I'll give you an example. Where I live, they're not, the mayor's not really doing anything. Even in Huntington Beach, when I went to, what is it called? Curfew breakers, every week the police, and the Huntington Beach police are cool. Every week we lose freedoms. It's a Republican area. The sheriffs are not enforcing it, but they tell us to go from this side of the street to this side of the street. And then the next week I went, they said, you can't have flagpoles. And then the next week they said, end it at 12 o'clock. Every week we lose freedom from Republicans. The Republican Party is the do nothing party, and the police and the military just take the orders. Most military people in the military are patriots, but they don't have a say. There's somebody above them that's corrupt a lot of times that gives them the orders, and you're not really allowed to obey or disobey. It's the same with Huntington Beach. A lot of them are patriots, and I bet even the police chief's a patriot, but sometimes they have higher ups that tell them to take our freedoms away. We're out there fighting for the blue, and the blue don't back us. We're the only movement that actually likes the police, and they're treating us like crap. I saw it the other day. They're telling people, stand here, don't do this, go home, take your sign away. We have no freedom. The blue does nothing. It's so sad. And I like the police. They're way better police than in Los Angeles. I mean, the police are cool too there, but it's like, why are they against us? It's like they side with the state over the people. That's why we lose. The Trump movement has now sided with the state over the people. The police are siding with the state over the people. We need more people who stand up for the people. I don't. Someone said the UN is running Canada. Canada is a joke. I mean, God bless Canada. I like Canadians, but Trudeau is a joke. That guy is a total. That guy is like the globalist of globalists. He's like a whiter Obama. That's more of an Obama than Obama. The guy is a total joke. I feel bad. Canada needs some good leadership up there. Someone said the UN's running everything. And I'll say this too. America helped the communists in World War II. World War II, we sided with communist Russia. And as soon as we beat Germany, we signed some sort of pact at a certain point with the UN. I got to find, let me see. I'm just going to go on Google real quick. When was the UN founded or formed? Ready? It was formed in San Francisco, October 24th, 1945, and it involved China, Soviet Union, the United Kingdom, and the United States. We became communists then, or we were communists. We helped the communists win the war and then just became full-blown communists and created the UN in San Francisco. So this is not just China. This is America. This is both parties for decades. It's definitely, the UN has too much power, but they're also, it's like the same people. The UN, Fauci, China, it's all the same. Someone said America supported Stalin in World War II. I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm reading history and I'm like, I know they're like, we defeated Germany and we saved everyone. I'm like, yeah, but you also fought with the communists who killed even more people. So was it really that great of a move? I mean, it didn't work out very well for us right now, but I guess we could pretend like Stalin wasn't that bad or something. You never learn about Stalin. Like, he slaughtered millions of people, but I guess fighting for him was a good idea or something, but whatever. All right, five more minutes, 3 more minutes. I got to go. Someone said Trudeau is filled up. The Fidel pictures are interesting. I've seen those. Someone said it's the bankers, not the countries. Well, I'm sure at a certain point, once you own the money, it's not that hard to do everything else. All right, God bless you. Have a good night. Someone said, David said the police are no longer obligated to protect people. The obligation is to protect property. Yeah, I guess I hear what you say. I guess that's what it is. Maybe that's why they don't want signs or something. Someone said anomaly, US installed Mao per UK puppet masters. I'm sure they did. I mean, when you really like, this is why I can't. I'm not trying to be mean, but I can't take a lot of these influencers seriously. Like when I start reading books, and I'm not reading like just like takes on it, I'm like actually reading their documents and stuff, like how communism came, where it came from, who implemented it, how it's going on. When you really dive into communism, the ideology behind it, the ideology behind Stalin, the ideology behind Mao, and you see who not only the Democratic Party works for, but if you see who the biggest donors are to President Trump and the biggest blind spot that Republicans have, I've seen this for years. I didn't think it would get this bad this year, obviously, but the Republican Party was already doomed because the blind spot that Republicans have for where communism really comes from and how their party is actually a huge part of it in a way that they don't understand. And when I explain it, people don't want to hear. You kind of see it's like if people wake up to this stuff, it's easy to solve, but no one wants to hear it. So at a certain point, when it falls on deaf ears, you're like, oh yeah, this is definitely how they're going to get the right wing. Like, and that's what they did this year. Russell said we lost the biggest part of our Constitution under Trump. Yes, Russell, this was the biggest infringement on liberties probably in years. What Trump did this year under his administration blows out of the water what Obama did. And I'm not saying Obama's better than Trump. This year was a travesty, and he was the perfect person to make the Patriot movement not care. Just going to say it. What you take from it what you will. That's what happened. Someone said anti-Americanism must be defeated now. Here's what I'll say about the two-party trap, and hopefully people don't take this the wrong way. But on the two sides, to me, people see nationalism with Trump, and they see anti-Americanism with the left wing. In some ways, they're true. Trump is more of a nationalist than anybody. That's why I voted for him, for multiple reasons. Trump earned my vote over Biden. But the real competing ideologies behind the scenes, the left wing is really Bolshevikism, communism, and the right wing is Zionism. The right wing is not the Republican Party, Trump. It's not a nationalist America First party. It's a Zionist party. Zionism was the creation of Israel. These people, there's a reason Trump passes speech bills with Dershowitz and Kushner. There's a reason that he's anti-First Amendment when it comes to Israel. There's a reason that Ron DeSantis, probably the best governor in America, signed away legislation in Israel, the first Florida bill ever signed on foreign soil, to basically make it a speech violation in certain schools to say certain things about Jewish people in Israel. There's a reason, because the Republican Party is not a nationalist party. It's a Zionist party. It's a party that is so emboldened to Israel that the priorities of Israel come before America. And if you really want to know the truth about what's going on in the Middle East, we weren't just fighting for oil. We were fighting for Israel. So when all these endless wars make no sense, they make sense when you realize that Israel doesn't have a big enough army. So America's soldiers are just being sacrificed for their best interest. But what's in their best interest is not in America's best interest. So that's where it comes in the problem. If you're a true nationalist, Israelis are nationalists, Israel first, Israel over the rest of the world. If America's a nationalist, it's America over the rest of the world. Israel can come second, but they can't come first. And the Trump party is the Zionist party. It's the Israel first party. So the reason that you never get anything and you're always second fiddle and you're heading towards communism anyway is because that's just what's happening. But people don't know that, or people make a biblical excuse for it, and they take one part of the Bible out of context instead of reading the rest of the book and multiple lines that say not to do that and not to follow the devil, and that certain people are good and certain people are evil. So if you follow the wrong people, you're of the blank of Satan. These are biblical verses too that people ignore. So at the end of the day, it's like both these parties are doomed from the start. Even Trump, every blind spot he had, like that's where it comes from. And when people don't understand where communism comes from and who founded communism and how these two competing ideologies are very similar to just past situations where like either you're going to lose really badly or you're just going to kind of lose slowly. So the Republican Party is the lose slowly and the Democrat Party is the lose quickly. Someone says the Bible says Israel first. It's not actually true. I'll just be honest. If you watch, Pastor Anderson has this great documentary. It's called Marching to Zion. If you're a Christian, it's been banned off of social media because they're frightened for you to even see this, and they might ban this video for saying it. But if you could find the documentary by Pastor Anderson, Marching for Zion, he lays out the perfect explanation for why Christians have been deceived into sacrificing their own religion and their own people. No Christian leaders in human Christian history ever believed what Zionist Christians believed. That belief came from the Schofield Bible, when a bunch of people funded a version of the Bible that had a footnote that told people that they had to sacrifice their country for Israel. That's not what that line means. That's never what it means. They put millions of dollars into funding to dupe Christians into self-extinction, and that's what they did. So you obviously can like Jews, but it's like sacrificing your own country and your own religion for Israel is not what the Bible says. In fact, it doesn't say that at all. So you can support a country, but this idea that a certain group of people comes before you and that Jesus likes a certain group of people that don't even believe in Jesus, that the Holy Land belongs to people that don't believe it, that's not a Christian traditional thing. We brainwashed Christians in the early 1900s because they wanted to reclaim that land, and they did it. And ever since then, America's been tanking. American Christian values have become non-existent. This whole country has been wiped out by communism and Zionism on both sides. You don't have a nationalist party. You don't have a Christian party. How is this a Christian party when Trump is super pro-gay? If you're pro-gay, that's fine. But I'm just saying biblically, that's a Zionist party, because Judeo-Christian means Jewish and Christian, and Judeo is not the same as Christian. Christianity is Christianity. Jesus was a Jew, but also the Bible talks about good Jews and bad Jews. It says, there are those who say they are, but are not. I will make them of the synagogue of Satan. Is that anti-Semitic? No, it's biblical. It means there's good people and there's bad people. There's really evil people. And if you follow the really evil people, you're going to run off a cliff. So if you worship the synagogue of Satan, you're not helping your country. You're leading it to hell. So, I think you can like a country and you can like a group of people without sacrificing your children at war. I like these people. They mean so much more than me. I'm going to sacrifice my kid in Iraq for a country that doesn't even care that much about me. That's really godly. So in general, if you hate America, if you want to sacrifice America for Israel, that's fine. But if you actually like America, and that might not work out so well for you, but it's up to you. Someone said Schofield Bible is the Rockefeller Bible. Yeah, look into the Schofield Bible. No Christians believed this before. Every Christian didn't have this mindset. This is a completely new mindset. And now the Republican Party's most mega churches are brainwashed. There's very few churches, if they're not promoting communism with Black Lives Matter, they're promoting Zionism. Zionism has taken over the Christian church. So you have very few churches that actually just preach Christianity. It's all political, either communism or Zionism. So that's why there's no fight left at all. It's like, I'll give credit to the Orthodox Jews. They fight harder for their people than Christians do. They don't want to do the mask mandate. They don't want to stop gathering. Where are the Christians? Virtually non-existent. Christians are just like Republicans. They just do nothing. No offense, but it's like, at least the Orthodox look out for each other and don't comply to the government. The Christians sacrifice their kids for a foreign war because they misread the Bible, because the Schofield Bible brainwashed their parents or something. I mean, someone said, what about the Jesuits? I mean, what about it? Look, do your research yourself. Someone said, stop now. You wish. Someone said we could love America and respect Israel. Well, this is the point I'm getting to. You can't serve two masters. So if you have a party that says America first and Israel second, that's fine. If it's Israel, I would expect them to be Israel first and America second. I would not wish for any Israeli that watches me, I would not wish that they put America before Israel. And they don't, because they're not idiots. Americans are idiots, so they put another country before their own. So if you respect and love Israel, that's fine. I have no problem with that. I have friends who live there. I'm just saying the Zionist party puts Israel above America. So when you lose your constitution and you lose your free speech, you can blaspheme Jesus Christ. It's legal in America to blaspheme Jesus Christ, but you can't talk about dual loyalty among Jews or Israel. Do you know why? Because the Republican Party is a Zionist party. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about free speech. Christians play second fiddle constantly. They care about their relationship with Israel and their Jewish donors. So they pass anti-legislation First Amendment. So if you believe in the Constitution, you believe in the Constitution. If you don't believe in the Constitution, then stop pretending to be a constitutionalist. That's all I ask. It's like, you can't play these two games where I don't believe in the Constitution. So that's where I draw the line. And I've said it for a year. I have no problem with Israel. I have a problem that I don't have the Constitution because Jewish lobbyists and Zionist donors and a bunch of, groups that completely just swarm Trump and do whatever they want, they've sold out our Constitution for their own interests. That's not biblical. That's traitorous among Republicans. They sacrifice their own children for a foreign war. They're killing their own kids for someone else's interest. That doesn't even make sense. And in general, Israel's an ally, but they also give things to China. So you guys cry about China all the time. Oh, China, there's still loyalty in China. Oh, these people are working for China. Try your best allies are giving a lot of information for China. Are they doing business with China? Of course. America doesn't, Israel doesn't, they're not going to stop doing business with China because of America. They get whatever they want. They're like government, billions of dollars, speech laws. They have both parties by the balls. They have Trump so far by the balls that he passed anti-First Amendment legislation for them. He didn't pass blasphemy laws for Christian. He passed don't question rich Jewish people laws for his Jewish donors. That's what he did. Read the bill, the anti-Semitism bill. Why is Trump infringing on the First Amendment? Because the Republican Party is not a nationalist party. It's not an America First party. It's not a constitutional party. It's not an anti-communist party. It's a Zionist party. So someone said, BS, you're a lib. You wish you could hold a candle to what I'm saying right now. Just keep lying to yourself. That's why they don't even care about communism. You don't see any of these people I'm shocked that they went communist this year. They don't care because they're not anything that they've told you that they are. All right. I'm going to try to find some comments. You guys aren't really saying much to latch on to. Let me see. Someone said it's God who I always let me see. If you want true freedom, we the people. Right, I'm trying. Someone said exactly anomaly. I'm sick of dumbing it down. It's so simple where it's like, I don't want to harp on it, but in general, these people gave away our First Amendment and no one noticed. But that's because the Republican Party is not, the people don't know these stuff. And I'm telling you, a lot of these news corporations, a lot of these news outlets, they're all Zionists, where I'm saying they don't serve America. They don't care if it turns communist. They don't care if you lose your First Amendment. They don't care if your kids die in a foreign war. They don't care about any of it. They serve another master. Someone said we're all about to be Palestinians. I mean, we all are this year, including Israelis. Everyone got locked in. Even Israel's citizens are getting locked up. The whole world's getting locked up, folks. It's not ideal. Do I think Trump could be part of the deep state? After Operation Warspeed, I don't know who this guy is, but in general, I'm just telling you, like, when I say these things, I'm not qualified to tell you who everyone is in the bottom of their hearts or how easy it is to even get in these spaces. I'm just telling you in general, when I watch the party give away the First Amendment, I am not shocked. I'm not confused. Okay. When Trump sits there next to Alan Dershowitz, who's Epstein's lawyer, and Jared Kushner, who pretty much runs the show, and does 50 million things with Trump, who seems like a really smart guy. I'm not confused at why he's giving away the First Amendment. I know why, because the Republican Party is not a nationalist party. They're not a constitutional party. They're a Zionist party, and they will prioritize anything under the sun that benefits the people who fund them and keep them afloat and have them by the balls. So whether it means sacrificing us, our Constitution, our way of life, it doesn't matter to them. So am I going to blame it all on Trump? No. It is what it is. They control Obama. They control Biden. You think Kamala is going to challenge the Zionists? Kamala is a Zionist. Biden is a Zionist. You don't get to that position without serving Israel in some form. You have to do what they want to do, or else you don't get there. And then on the news, they'll tell you it's China. What do Jake Tapper and Trump agree with? China. Why? Because Jake Tapper, what ethnicity is he? What ethnicity is the owner of CNN? What speech bills does Trump pass? Am I blaming everyone? No, but they say that you're not allowed to say that they're doing it because they're literally doing it. You have a certain group of people that are doing certain things by the huge numbers, and they don't want you to notice that they're doing it by the huge numbers. They're passing speech laws to say, no, you can't suggest that we have loyalty, even though we have an entire country that's made specifically for us. And Christians are like, let me just sacrifice my kid in Iraq for them real quick. Nathaniel said, we didn't lock down where I live, but now our city council is threatening law if we don't wear masks. Oklahoma countryside don't play. That's what I'm saying. Oklahoma, they're still doing it. Hey, mate, big love. Please talk with Diana Spingola. You guys resonate. Kika. Thank you. I'll check it out. Someone said Barr himself. Guys, the QAnoners told people to worship Bill Barr. Look up Bill Barr. His father did something with Epstein. The Barr family and the Epstein family has a connection. They work together. So they made you worship Bill Barr, and you think you're like fighting the system. And then they call me Mossad. They're like, oh, Anomaly works for Mossad. You guys are so scrambled. You don't even know who Mossad is. Israel. And you guys worship a president who is really good to Israel. So how are you fighting Mossad by worshiping Bill Barr and Trump? These people are idiots. I'm sorry. The Q people are so like half woke. They know half things, and then they're just like sporadic with it. It's like they don't know what they're talking about. Ann said, personally, I think Trump tried but couldn't do so much. The Democrats are doing what they want. The presidents only have... Guys, you're never going to get it. You're never going to get it. I agreed with the first part, but then you're like, the Democrats are just doing anything. It's a Republican Supreme Court. It's a Republican Supreme Court. It's a Republican Senate. It was a Republican president. Only in your head is he trying to do these things, guys. None of them are helping you, but this is how they brainwash people. The left wing is just gone. The right wing is like, it's the Democrats. Guys, you're not listening to anything I'm saying, but I don't care. At this point, I don't care. I see the writing on the wall. I'm going to go read the Bible. I'm going to go read Revelation, and then I'm going to figure out the best path for myself, my friends, and my family. Because clearly you guys are not going to help me. Clearly you guys are not on the path of freedom and victory. You guys are on the path of blaming a Democrat for a Republican president and a Republican Supreme Court who does nothing. 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 The Republicans do nothing. Trump did nothing. Could he not do it? Probably. Was it the Democrats? No, not just the Democrats. Come on, guys. Someone said, thanks for calling us dumb. I'm not calling everyone dumb. I'm just being honest. You're not, if you're so obsessed with making excuses and just thinking Trump has no part in it and Republicans have no part in it, and it's only the Democrats, it's time to protect yourself and your family, folks. It's time to have a real plan. Because these people are not going to help you. Your fellow patriots are not going to help you. The Democrats have a role in this year. Trump in April, he went to Gavin Newsom and complimented him while Gavin Newsom was being a tyrant to the point that Stalin would be pretty impressed at how quickly Gavin Newsom got power. Trump was not fighting it, only in your head. He was complimenting Gavin Newsom. He said, good job. We got ventilators and tests. You like me now. He complimented Phil Murphy. He complimented Cuomo. Trump didn't do anything this year. It's not just the Democrats, folks. This is how they get you. You don't understand that this party does not serve you. It's just the Republicans then. It's just the rhinos. It's from top to bottom. Trust Barr. Why? Trust Durham. Why? Someone said, how much time do we have? I don't know. I'm not going to put a timeline on what's going on, but this is creepy to me. You think it's creepy. Someone said it's all theater. It is all theater. And the fact that I'm trying not to get upset, but it's sad. I thought this movement, and it's my own fault. It's my own fault. I thought this movement was going to be able to restore freedom. And all I'm seeing is just excuses. It's the Democrats. We're not in the Democrat Party. Someone said F anomaly. It's fine. I don't really care. I want something to get done. People are mad at me. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Do you want me to just sit here like other people and just say it's all the Democratic Party? I mean, this year was the Democrat. Trump had no part in it. It's just the Democrats. Trump didn't do anything this year. He's been fighting for your freedom so hard, and just the Democrats did everything. That's a lie. That's a lie, guys. It's such a lie. I'm so tired of these liars. I go watch someone else who lies to you. Trump didn't have no part in this. Were his hands tied? Maybe. I'm all over the place. Yeah. You complain when I say the same thing on repeat. You complain when I talk about other topics. What do you want me to do? I talk about the same topic. You're talking about the same topic. I talk about different things. You're all over the place. I can't. Someone said Jesus is our only hope. I hear you. Someone said, who can help? Can we do something? I'm not trying to freak people out, but I sound like a broken record. I don't even know why I'm still here. I should have been gone an hour ago. If we actually do something, what can we do? If we did something, this wouldn't be like that. But I don't know. I'm doing what I can on a personal level. I'm talking to the mayor. I'm trying to get people into it, and there's not enough people into it. What can we do? I'm telling you, protect yourself, protect your family, have a plan. Don't trust the plan. Have your own plan. Trust your own plan that you have in your head, and just be prepared for anything. The best, the worst, just have a plan. That's it. On a movement level, if MAGA is the movement of freedom, it's the movement of freedom. If MAGA is the movement of excuses, it's over for MAGA. It's all excuses. It's all just election circus and excuses. That's all I see. My Twitter feed is pathetic. You might as well be the Democratic Party. It's like, it's the Democrats. It's China. Your party does nothing. You guys just tweet. I don't know. I don't know what to tell people. Like, what could we do? There's a million things we can do, but if people don't want to do anything, there's no point in tell a couple thousand people who agree with me and the couple million people, as 50 million, MAGA just says, oh man, F this, F thinking Trump did everything. It's all the Biden. It's all Biden. It's like, yeah, this year Trump did nothing. He didn't sign the CARES Act. He didn't do full-blown communism. He didn't say that lockdowns were good. He didn't say that Sweden was bad for having freedom. He didn't sign an anti-First Amendment bill. He didn't do any of this stuff. Yeah, it just totally never happened. I mean, I don't know if that's what people want to believe, there's no point in even talking anymore. There's no point in even making any videos. It's like, okay, yeah, for sure. It's the Democrats in China. Just keep saying that. As you're just running in circles. You're like running in circles, losing your freedom, losing your constitution. Majority, 2 years of Republicans in each house, the Republicans do nothing. Someone said time to vote them out. In order to vote them out, though, people need to know what's going on. Most people don't know what's going on. I'll do my best to do a better job. This is most likely not the best strategy to tell people, talking to a little bit under 2,000 people and getting upset. Probably not the best strategy. I'll agree with you. But I don't know. I've made full compilation videos explaining to people certain things I'm talking about, how the Republican Party is serving another master. People don't want to hear it. People just don't want to hear it. Maybe that's why revelation is revelation. If people knew what they were doing, the revelation wouldn't be in the Bible. You know, maybe that's just the theory I'm going to go with, because if you try to force something, it's not forcible. What I should probably do, although this is part of my job, I guess, you know, the longer I stay, it's like part of a job. I should probably, you know, spend more time and think about what I'm going to do and where I'm going to be next year. I've been thinking about it a lot, but it's like, I think I understand why revelation is revelation. If people actually knew what was going on, they would not allow this. Since the left wing is constantly brainwashed and the right wing is not trying to listen, I'm starting to think like, yeah, well, this is why the one world government comes, because no one's going to stop it. But we'll see. Someone said, I mean, I respect this. Tina said, do you agree with everything Trump? Do I agree with everything Trump did? No, but in my opinion, he did the best he could. Only God is perfect. I'll say this, Tina. If Trump did the best that he could, it wasn't enough to really save the country. So I'm not knocking him, but at a certain point, I appreciate the comment. At a certain point, MAGA needs to realize that what they thought was going to get done didn't get done. So I agree with you. Let's say Trump did everything he could and he just fell short. We have to at least admit he fell short. Communism is not okay. The destruction of the Constitution is not okay. All of what's going on is not okay. So if 100 million people can come to the conclusion and be like, listen, he did the best that he could, but he's not doing enough, or he didn't do enough, that's fine. Then we need to get it done. Someone else needs to get it done. But we can't have 50 million people who are like, oh, it's secretly getting done. He's coming tomorrow with it. Maybe it'll happen. It's like, I guess, but the longer we kick this can down the road, the worse it is. So I hear you. I think there's a huge possibility you're right. But at a certain point, we have to come to that conclusion. Like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like people are like, don't want to admit it, where it's like, man, I wanted Hillary to get locked up. It's like, didn't everybody who voted for Trump wanted Hillary to get locked up? Thank you, Karen. Everyone wanted Hillary to get locked up, but she didn't get locked up. So I hear you, Lisa. I feel bad for Trump, but when I see him selling vaccines, to be honest, I don't really feel bad. I feel like betrayed. I feel like he betrayed me. If you want to be honest, I respect your decision to feel like he did the best he could. I feel betrayed when he gets on television and doesn't explain the Moderna trials. He doesn't explain anything about coronavirus. He's done an F- job of actually doing anything about it. And then he gets on TV and sells an mRNA vaccine that Bill Gates has backed since 2016. I feel betrayed. I don't feel like he's doing the best he can. If he is, it's not enough, because I don't feel good about it. I can't just say, oh, this is really good. I feel betrayed. I feel like the president that I thought was going to fight for vaccine safety became the biggest vaccine salesman of the 21st century. I mean, he sells a vaccine harder than Bill Gates can. So I don't feel good about this. I don't know. I can't lie. I can't say that I feel really good. I felt good a few months ago. I felt like he was going to pull something out, and it's just been nothing. I've gotten nothing, and just everything, you know, I don't feel good about it, but I respect that you feel that way. So I said, anomaly, I will pray for your peace. This is a hard time. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Praying for peace is nice. Someone said, I agree. I don't understand why he's been pushing it. Vika said, get a job. Unfortunately for you, Vika, this is my job. I know it's disappointing, but I would have made a lot more if I had monetization on Facebook. I'd be making a killing right now, Vika, but I don't. But I'm still here. That just shows you I care. I care about the message as well. But, you know, sorry, Vika, this is my job. Someone said they got anomaly. I'm going to repeat this real quick, then I'm going to go to bed. No one got me, folks. This is, I really don't have that much time. It's way past my bedtime, but this is what real looks like, folks. I'm not a hologram. Okay. I'm not a Biden meme. Okay. This is what real looks like. No one got me. No one pays me. This is what no puppet strings look like. I don't have Sheldon Adelson. I don't have $1 million Daily Wire donors, okay? I don't have Fox News controlling me. I don't have Blaze TV telling me what I can and can't say. This is what real looks like. This is 100% authentic, free human being. I can dance. I can juggle. I could do a backflip. 0 puppet strings. No one got to me. I feel this way. The question is, who's controlling people not talking about this? I feel like Operation Warp Speed is a betrayal. I voted for him. I voted all Republican. I feel betrayed. Who got to me? The truth got to me. Reality got to me. The fact that I've been locked up for 8 months and the leader of the free world has done a piss poor job to free us and only use things that are going to be used against me. When you fund the swamp, you're not draining the swamp. Hillary never got locked up. I got locked up. He didn't drain the pharmacy swamp. He funded the pharmacy swamp and rushed it so fast through FDA trials that Bill Gates' head would spin and he'd drop the coffee cup in his hand that he holds all funny. Trump has been like a big pharma salesman. So who got to me? The truth. This is real talk. This is no puppet strings. I'm not a fake. Other people can't do this because they'll lose everything. What I'm doing is built in reality. Look at my reporting in March. Real. April. Real. May. Real. I'm going to do a compilation of all the videos I've done and make a 2020 list on YouTube. And you're going to see it's not a competition, but put it next to any other reporter or influencer that you do. Look at all my best videos, the best 30 videos I've done. No one's coming close. I'm just going to be honest. It's not bragging. It's factual. No one's coming close. And in general, they don't say anything. They can't say anything because if they say something, they lose everything. I don't lose anything. I could say this, I could say that because it's real. I do real stuff. So I don't have to lie to the American people to make money. I can turn on a dime because it's a real turn and I'll make just as much money or I won't and I don't care. But in general, these other people can't do it. Their whole life is Trump. They have to pretend like they don't agree with the First Amendment's bad for anti-Semitism bills. They have to agree that it's okay for a communist shutdown. They have to say that Operation Warp Speed is something super secret or they'll lose their audience. Or they'll just, thank you, Trump, you're the best. They have to do that. That's all they can do because they're cheerleaders. That you put pom-poms, they're like, 19-year-old girls with pom-poms in their hand. That's all they know how to do. Please, maybe Mike Pence will take a picture with me and I'll get 1,000 votes. I'm a real guy. I don't even have to do this. I did shows with 10,000 people at it this year. Music. And most people don't even know I do music because I don't talk about it that much because I don't care because I do this too. And when I come to do this, it's real. So no one got to me. Who got to all these other people? They know this. You think they don't know that Trump gave away the First Amendment or he passed a bill? They know. They just don't want to lose everything. They know that this is communism. Do they not? If they're not, they're pretty far gone. If they do, how come they haven't said anything about it? Because they don't want to lose anything. They don't want to lose. I don't care. Someone said, the Beth Moore statement on Trump. I didn't see it. I read the comment though. Someone said this isn't communism. It's not full-blown communism yet as far as 100% total control, but it's pretty close. It's definitely socialism. When you shut down millions of businesses and you hand out $1,200 paycheck and you force Boeing to either lose money or become a part of the government, and you pressure Honeywell and other companies to make ventilators when they don't want to or they don't want to do it for that price, what do you call that? It's socialism at best, communism at worst. Guys, I can't be the only one here that is just tired of people making excuses for this stuff. Yeah, it's not full-blown communism, okay? They didn't drag me to the gulags yet. That's for 2 years from now, okay? When Trump lobs Operation Warp Speed to Biden and he dunks it in my face. Yeah, it's not full-blown communism. It's not the worst part of Stalinism. But if you don't think shutting down millions of businesses and not allowing them to operate and strong-handing businesses for months, bipartisan fashion across, if you don't think that's communism, I mean, yeah, it could get worse. Duh. But it's so obviously not capitalism. It's socialism at best, soft communism at worst. Because I feel like I keep referencing the Zoolander thing because it's funny. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I feel like a lot of people get it and they're enjoying what I'm doing. And I feel like no one how is the MAGA movement this far gone, folks? We're supposed to be the movement of freedom. Satina, thank you so much. She said, we can't expect the American people to jump from capitalism to communism, but we can assist their elected leaders in giving them small doses of socialism until one day we awaken to find out they have communism. Nikita Khrushchev, that's a great quote. Satina, thank you so much for the super chat. Someone said, we appreciate your realness. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kaliva. Celeste May said, please ignore the negative comments. Love you. Keep on. Thank you so much, Celeste. It's like, it's interesting because I was talking to my buddy Ali and he had Alex Jones on it. And Alex had a good way to put it. He said, for a while they were slow, like you said, they were slowly doing socialism, slowly doing socialism. And what Alex said is like, this year they threw it off a cliff. You get what you're totally right. That's what they've done to us over the last 50, 60 years. Slow socialism. And this year, I feel like they flew us off a cliff. And then I'm just like, we flew off a cliff. And people are like, no, it's not socialism or communism. I'm like, yes, it is. It was already socialism. And this year they went like, whoosh. And I'm just like, yeah, this is like pretty much communism. People are like, no, it's like, it could get worse. It could definitely get worse. But at a certain point, I'm like, yo, what is going on? I can't. Someone said in socialism, the community owns the capital. No, I mean, I read the Communist Manifesto. This is what they really want. Abolition of property and land, and application of rents to all public purposes. I got it right here. So they want to abolish private property for the most part. That's their most important thing. So at the end of the day, private property was not completely abolished, but they're destroying millions of businesses. That's partially communist. They're deciding your private property is not private anymore because if you do what you normally do, that's a violation of the law and they're going to fine you. That's soft communism. They want a heavy progressive or graduated income tax. The country's already been communist. I mean, you had your founding fathers or the Tea Party or whatever. They were pissed off over a tea tax. Folks, we've had socialist communist taxes for decades. This is why I get along with libertarians. They want no taxes. Our country, even under a Trump, it's like socialism light. And under a Biden, it's like, I'm stealing half your money. A progressive or graduated income tax, we already have communism. This is right out of the manifesto. So the first two are already happening. The third one, abolition of all right of inheritance. Obviously, that's what Joe Biden and stuff want to do. So they take it to the next level. 4 is confiscation of property. That's happened this year. Centralization of credit in the hands of the state by means of a national bank. That's already happened. Lenin said that 90% of communizing a nation is getting a central bank. We've had one since 1918. This is straight out of the book, folks. 6 is centralization of means of communication and transport into the hands of the state. That has not gotten there yet. I mean, communication is almost completely centralized, but transportation, not so much. So yeah, are we fully blown communists? No. Is it someone said Pol Pot, Pol Pot, Pol Pot. Can't say it 5 times fast, but in general, it's not full blown communism, but it's getting pretty close. I mean, when you got 4 out of the 5 of their main tenets pretty much happening, it's not ideal. And all I'm saying, someone said, exactly. Rebecca said T tax 2%, we pay 40%. Even Trump I'm not blaming him. He lowers the taxes. I love it. We need, and I know it's not, I'm not blaming him for not doing it, but this is where I like the libertarians and Rand Paul. It's like, yeah, they had a 2% tax. They're freaking out. We got 40% tax, 30% tax, 20% tax, 7% tax, 10%. It's all too much in my opinion, and we fund them to do this bullshit that they do. We fund them and they shut us down. We funded them to get shut down this year. And then we're going to fund them again next year or they're going to come after us. It's nuts. But in general, someone said I'm scared. Yeah, don't be scared. Don't be prepared. Just have a good time. Enjoy yourself. Don't be scared, but it's like if someone tells, like this is, it's already happening. I don't know what part about this year didn't creep people out though. God bless you, but it's like I read this and people are scared. Like, didn't this year kind of creep you out a little bit? I'm not going to say be scared, but like it's creepy getting shut in your house. It's creepy getting beaches shut down. It's creepy getting gyms shut down. It's creepy getting, the world was like a ghost town this year. It's been creepy. I want to reverse it. Someone said, come take this. Exactly. But, all right. Someone said, quote, yeah, the Democrats are always worse, but I got to end on a good note. I'm just trying to tell people the theory of the Overton window, which is like one party goes far and the other party drags. That's what's going on. That's why I want to stand in ground. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to seem like a turncoat. Although if you call me that, I literally don't care. I'm not going to change my tune. But it's like we've given up so much, and it's like the Republican Party just goes along. We have to stand our ground with Trump, with Biden, with whoever. The pro, and it's funny because I've thought this and I've said this, but I heard David Knight say it, and it's true. And I was like, finally, somebody agrees with me. I'm like, I'm looking out there. You guys, some of you agree, but it's like, finally, I see another news host that's not just lying to people. And he's like, obviously, if Trump wins, yeah, there's pros to it. But like the pro to Biden winning is people will finally wake up. Like everyone's in excuse mode right now. If Joe Biden wins, I guarantee you truckers gave Trump the pass for 8 months. They will not give Joe Biden a pass. They will not give Kamala Harris a pass. Truckers will not give him a pass. Farmers will not give him a pass. Trump supporters will not give him a pass. No one's going to give this guy a pass. So the pro is like, finally, people will wake up. Now that McConnell's turning on Trump, people are like, something's wrong. It's been wrong. It's like the Supreme Court won't do this. The Supreme Court won't do anything for us this year. They did the one church thing. That's great. So it's like, you get what I'm saying? It's like the good thing would be like, fine, people need a wake-up call. So if Trump's going to lull people to sleep, Biden will wake people up like, whoa, things seem wrong. Like, yes, exactly. Now let's solve it. That's unfortunately like the options we have now. It's wild. All right. Thank you, Alfredo. Appreciate you. God bless you, brother. All right. Let's read one more. Let's end on this note because it's a weird note and it can be interesting. Manuel Moreno said the alien agenda will be the great delusion. So I'm starting to think that too. The Israeli space chief says he and America know about the aliens or something. I feel like COVID-19 was the perfect thing. You can't just do everything that they did this year. So COVID-19 gave them an excuse to do everything. Emergency order, install telecommunications towers, do this, push the MRI. They did everything. They did everything at once. So the alien thing, imagine if that is the next thing. I don't know for sure, but yeah, there's aliens. Now we have to do this. That would seem like a way to make the next move. A blackout of some sort, a power grid, a power failure, especially because they did the Cyber Polygon conference. If you Google that, Cyber Polygon World Economic Forum, they're planning that. But that or like an alien attack. This is how they use like women, children, tragedies, and events. You can't go to war, but if a tragedy happens, you can go to war. You can't take away guns, but if a tragedy happens, you can take away guns. So they need a good story. This is always how the government works. So the alien thing, I feel like that's a high possibility. Aliens, now we have to steal it. Like now the alien, they'll be like, the alien said you need to give up your guns. The alien said the Second Amendment's bad. If you disagree with the aliens, you're an anti-Semite. And you're like, what are you talking about? They're like, no, the Israeli space chief and NASA said it. It's like the Israeli space chief, NASA was started by a Nazi. You're like, doesn't even make sense. But anyway, it's like, I feel like they're gonna use some weird stuff like that to be like, yeah, to try to make the next phase. I just, you can't do everything. I gotta get to bed, but I just want people to be ready next time. And hopefully we learned something this year. Someone said cold, dark winter. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully we learned something this year, and hopefully we don't let this happen again. But I'll try to not get so annoyed. I think that would be ideal. But I can't lie. I'm so annoyed where, Satina's been here. She does curfew breakers. She does a great job in Huntington Beach. I like Huntington Beach. I like the police. But every week we lose freedom where it's like, it's not just the left anymore. It's like, we back the blue. Why are you guys doing this? Who's telling you to do this? Like, at what point do we admit that the problem's bigger than Democrats? Where I think people are starting to realize that, but it's like, We if it's not going to be the leadership, we back the blue. They don't back us. We back Trump. He doesn't really do that much this year. Whether you think he did or didn't mean to, we know that the MAGA people, this is why I go so hard at people. I know it's not going to be liberals. I know it's going to be MAGA. It's going to be Trump supporters, patriots, conservatives, gun owners. That's going to be who saves the country. It's not going to be liberals. The reason I don't talk about them is not because I like them more or I'm a liberal. I just expect nothing from them at this point. I know it's kind of mean, but I don't know what they're doing anymore. And I just don't feel like they're going to be very useful in any sort of situation. So I go hard at MAGA because I know you guys are going to be it. So if we wait forever and we make excuses for what's going on, we're no longer like the party of the Constitution or freedom. We're the party of excuses. Like there's no reason. Why do we do that? So I'll try to not get so annoyed. Maybe some people like it, some people don't, but let's not be the party of excuses. Let's be the party of, whether it's Trump or McConnell or whoever, this is where we draw our line in the sands. We don't want to budge another inch. God bless everybody. We don't hate anybody. There's no hate speech. We just want free speech. We don't want to kill people. We just want our businesses. We don't want to kill grandma. We just want to not wear a mask. Not in Oklahoma, not in a boat, not in a moat, not with a tank, not in a bank. Okay, it's like green eggs and ham. We don't want to do this anywhere. I feel like if we could do that, we can get this done like tomorrow. But if MAGA becomes the party of excuses because Trump was in office and they just don't want to talk about anything, it just gets weird. Someone said Trump will win. If he wins, people need to wake up anyway. So nothing I say changes. If he wins, people need to wake up. If he loses, people need to wake up. If he loses, people will wake up. If he wins, people won't wake up. So they need to wake up anyway. So this doesn't change my plan at all. God bless you guys. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. Have a good Christmas. And I'll say a prayer right now. I'm going to pray for a beautiful 2021. I'm going to pray for peace. I'm going to pray for freedom. I'm going to pray for a return to freedom. And I'm going to pray for the president and his family. And also I'm going to pray that the MAGA and Trump movement becomes fighters, becomes, people that don't make excuses anymore. And I'll pray for myself as well. But let's pray for the world and pray for solutions in 2021. No more quitting, no more excuses, no more bending over because it's our political party, no more bending over because it's the president that we like and trust more than everyone else. We can't have that in 2021. If Biden wins, we can't have that. If Trump wins, we can't have that. These elites are not scared of us right now, folks. They're not afraid of conservatives. They're not afraid of Republicans. I'm sure they're afraid of Trump's mere presence because he's such a loose cannon compared to other presidents. But in general, they're not afraid of our movement. Why? It's not because we're not tough. It's not because we're not strong. It's not because we can't do it. It's because they know that we're just like placated or something. They know that we're all talk. They know that it's all tweets. So if we can become the party of standing our ground, and you see that, I'm going to connect with these people like Ali. I haven't met him in person yet, but we have mutual respect, and he's built a huge movement of Stop the Steal. I know, or I believe, that Ali is ready to make this the movement of the anti-lockdown movement, and he's not going to stop. I don't think he wants to. I'm sure he'll take a break, but we will connect at a certain point, and we will do something about it. I believe that. So, I understand it's a crazy month, but in the new year, I will not try to get so annoyed. But at the end of the day, we will try to restore freedom in this country. That's all we have. The longer we kick it down the road, the worse it gets. So in general, we can do it next year. No more excuses. 100% stand up. That's all we got. And then, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But there's really no downside, in my opinion, to standing up. If you don't stand up, or you do stand up, whatever Trump or Biden has planned, you can either stop it or join it if it's the right thing. Someone said complacency. None of that next year. We can't have it regardless who wins. God bless you. God bless your family. Good night. And, Merry Christmas season. And to those who are not Christian, to the Jews and Muslims and Hindus and stuff. I can't name all your holidays now, but God bless you guys too. Sorry. I can't, I got to do the research next time. I could just say Happy Kwanzaa. That's like basic, but I'm not going to do it. I don't know anyone who celebrates Kwanzaa, but God bless y'all too. All right, we're out.